Hello, listeners. This extra-sode is executive produced by Luke Phillips. We'll explain more about how Luke Phillips was able to executive produce, and by that I mean create out of nothing an episode that you are about to listen to that absolutely, I assure you, would never have happened had it not been for Luke Phillips. Thank you for your patronage, and we will reveal the movie in a moment.
Be grateful, other listeners.
Totes Recall.
Oh, welcome to Totes Recall, the podcast where we talk about a movie we can't remember very well or at all. Then we pause the recording of us talking and commence with the eating of salads and patrons. Nope.
No! Oh, no!
Thank you, patrons, for letting us eat pizza and salad. And who watching the movie.
Let me assure you, we will not eat you.
No. There is no tier for that. We watched the movie. We'll eat fruit. Check it out. TotsRecall.com. We watched the movie, and then we stop watching the movie when the movie ends. We come back. God. The second half of the show is more talking. This is a podcast. But we're now talking about the movie, and we know what the movie is about because we just watched it. Mm-hmm. My name is Dan.
Wow. This is Molly.
Wow. I'm also Dan.
And I'm Beth.
Wow. And this very special extra-sode is a movie-based one, and that movie is Big Trouble in Little China.
Oh. Cool.
Very cool.
I think so.
A movie that came out in the 80s.
Okay.
Specifically 89.
Wow.
I think it came out in 84.
Ooh.
87.
Oh.
My guess is just going to be the 80s.
No.
I know nothing about this movie.
Yeah, so this movie was selected by a patron. Mm-hmm. And I have not seen it.
I have seen it.
Oh, you have?
I have not seen the entire thing.
Wow.
This is one of those movies that was much like the movie Predator when I was a kid, where I would sometimes turn on the TV on like a Saturday afternoon and just see a random part of this movie and think, this movie looks insane, but then never followed through on it.
Yeah. Molly?
I'll guess 88.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Nice.
Wow. I'm going to come through with some kind of guess.
Have you seen it?
I definitely have not seen it, and I can't even I've heard of it. I've heard of it my whole life.
Yes.
But I can't even conjure up who's in it.
A famous man.
Yes.
Okay. Do you not know, or are you trying to?
I do know.
I know who it is.
I'm pretty sure I know.
It's Kurt Russell. We got to have something to talk about the first time.
Okay, but is this the one? Does he not have an eye patch in it, but it's like the same one when he does have an eye patch?
You're thinking of the Escape from New York and L.A. movies.
Okay.
Snake Plissken.
He does have an eye patch.
Yeah.
I do not believe he has an eye patch in this movie, but he brings similar energy.
It's not the same
person?
movies?
Like franchise?
Yeah, right, yeah.
I mean,
It's
it might be similar.
character.
It might be the same like team that made it.
Okay.
I don't know.
This is a John Carpenter movie.
Oh.
Did he do the Escape City movies?
Probably.
Okay.
Jaquette's bet all three of those movies that we've been talking about
Johnny Carps.
are Johnny Carps.
Nice.
Interesting.
The most
Because are these
famous
silly?
fish
They seem
stick.
like maybe they're kind of silly.
This is a goof.
It's an 80s movie.
Oh.
Okay.
I think, I mean, a lot is going to hinge on this statement for me.
Okay, here we go.
I think this movie knows what it's doing in that it's making a terrible movie.
Like a schlocky.
Yeah, like a corny, like sort of kung fu movie.
Yeah.
But it's like, it knows what it's doing, so it's going to work.
So it's sort of like, is it sort of hinging on like, what if we took a character like Snake Plissken and threw him into a schlocky kung fu movie?
Maybe.
Basically.
I mean, Kurt Russell, much love and respect, but not a ton of range.
Sure.
He's kind of like this guy.
Yeah.
He was an Overboard, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay, great. Well, that's range.
Sure.
Sort of.
No, I guess not.
I feel like, here's what I'm guessing, Beth, from your perspective of thinking maybe they were all the same movies. I'm going to bet that if we were to look up like an iconic photo of Snake Plissken and then watch this movie, he'll probably be in very similar clothes.
Okay. Yeah, because I know I've seen that image like many times, but I just don't know anything about them except for it's Kurt Russell. And he's got kind of like flippy hair on the bottom.
Oh, he has
long flippy hair.
Let me just say this as a general statement. Kurt Russell, great hair.
Great hair.
Yeah.
In growing up as a movie watching teen, I really like Kurt Russell and Patrick Swayze ran parallel tracks in my brain.
Sure.
Although like Kurt Russell had a bit more action flavor to him.
Yeah.
And they both could do both. Patrick Swayze certainly could do an action.
Certainly.
But like
Roundhouse.
more, yeah. Hell yeah. Sorry, I got distracted by thinking about the end of that where he has white pants with like 12 pleats on them and he like rips someone's throat out.
Oh, at the end of Roadhouse?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's so good. We should watch Roadhouse.
We should watch Roadhouse.
Roadhouse. Patrick Swayze also can be a lover.
Sure.
Oh,
Patrick
absolutely.
Swayze, the lover and fighter of the Patrick Swayze Kurt Russell duo. But they both have that long 80s
Yes.
like fancy mullet or whatever.
And they
it
both
is.
had sort of that, like, they're in good shape, but they're not, like, huge.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, neither of them were ever just, like, fucking jacked up. They were just in good shape.
I mean, very good.
Like,
though.
very good shape, but I mean, neither of them ever had, like, they were never, like, bulky. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
How big of a hunk do we think Kurt Russell's going to be in this movie?
In this one specifically?
Yeah,
I'd
the
say
movie
100% Utah.
Yeah.
Huh?
Wow.
Wow, that's
he
big
is
hunk.
such a hunk.
How
Have you ever
right.
seen The Thing?
Yes.
He's a hunk.
He is.
Wow.
Okay, now we know. All right. All right.
I like
On,
this
Beth.
energy.
Yeah.
I like this energy.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, he always felt like an uncle to me somehow.
Really?
Yeah, so like,
Yes.
yeah,
I
Like you
love
were
that.
rooting for him?
yeah, like he's like, I like him. He's cool, but like I can't really connect with him.
Sure.
Like there's something going on. There's some darkness there.
Yeah.
Oh.
But
Like
also,
most uncles.
yeah, like most uncles. Uncle energy, right?
Yeah, big
Well,
uncle
they're like
energy.
fun, but like
Something's
what
going on.
what have they been doing since you saw Blast?
Right.
Like they've been up to something.
Yeah, or like you get sort of just like other members of your family just will like make vague implications of
Yes.
what their life has been like.
Or
and
like you come in on a conversation and like, what are you talking about? Like everybody seems kind of stressed. Like, oh, just talking about your uncle. It's
Yeah,
fine. Don't worry
right.
about it. You're like,
Yeah.
okay.
Right.
But he's fun, right? Yeah.
Yeah, he's fine.
Fun.
He's like going through some stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, that sort of energy.
Okay.
Like, I respect him, but also like my like also vague I don't know, celebrity knowledge of Kurt Russell that he like had just like of a cool non-marriage with Goldie Hawn and they smoked weed all day.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, Kurt Russell. But now they're Splitsville?
Are they?
Oh,
Is that true? Or is that Susan Sarandon and
that's
the
true.
other guy?
I think. Tim Robbins.
Tim Robbins.
Tim Robbins, who also had like a non-marriage.
I
and they
feel
smoked
like
weed all day.
the Kurt Goldie is still going, but now I'm trying to remember what year I read that article. They were just like, yeah, we just never felt like it when they were like talking about how long they've been together but never got married.
Yeah.
But maybe that was from several years ago, and now things have changed.
Yeah.
I ever told you my favorite celebrity story about staying married?
Who knows?
Let's see.
Okay, let's find out.
That's some information. Thank you.
Sure. So Gwyneth Paltrow's parents, Bruce Paltrow and Blythe Danner, were interviewed on 60 Minutes many years ago. And I still remember this interview because one of the questions was, what do you attribute to your long marriage, especially, in Hollywood? Because he's a director and she was a very famous actress. And anyway, she gives a beautiful answer that's about communication and really loving each other and sticking it out. And then they turn to him and he says, yeah, I think it comes down to, for a healthy marriage, neither person should ever want to get a divorce at the same time.
That's pretty
And I
good.
feel like there's so much truth in that, right?
Yeah, it's a good line.
Because, these can get white hot in flashes.
Indeed.
But as long as they don't sink up and stick around too long,
Right. Yeah.
Also, if you're stoned all day, I assume that helps.
Sure.
Probably.
There was no judgment in that. There was judgment. I detected judgment in what I just said. And if you want to get stoned all day and marry or not marry, I'm cool with that.
Okay, just
Did it sound
you're talking
judgy?
to the listeners, right?
I was talking to
So I was going
listeners.
to say, everyone at the table is married, and
Yes.
at least one of us on the table probably gets stoned. Not all day. But
Hey, legalize it. Thank you. Dank Fumes legalization party.
You're trying to make that happen.
What is
Yeah. Okay.
what?
He's trying to make the
Local
DFL.
reference DFL stands for Dank Fumes legalization. Now that they passed local reference, marijuana's legal in
Not yet.
You sent us that.
They have to
and
reconcile the bill. And
Did not understand it.
Did not know what you were talking about.
I guess you guys aren't keeping up on your legislative
I did
action.
read about that today, actually.
I got
so
what you were
I'm a couple
saying,
days behind.
but I
Didn't merit a
And you know what? I just want to apologize because
who?
we said
Luke?
at
'Cause
the
we're not
beginning,
talking
to
about the
all of
movie?
us and to our listeners, because
Especially
we
to our
said
listeners, yeah.
before we hit start,
Yeah.
and Dan did that really weird intro for someone who's done this intro for 8 or 9 years. We said we were going to stay focused
Yes.
on the movie.
Yes.
for
And
10
this
minutes.
movie is.
We're almost at
we're
10
not there
minutes.
yet. So we pivoted at like 8:30. It was bad.
And I want to
We
assure
failed.
any new listeners, we will talk about this movie. We will come back more informed. We will also get Luke's reasoning
Nice.
for
Ooh,
why
teaser.
He picked
this.
it.
Yeah, why he picked this movie.
I have a proposal.
Oh,
I want to hear it.
My proposal is this: we do a Union Strong Totes pre-call
Yeah.
in which the dummies who've never seen this movie try their best.
Yeah. Is that Beth and Molly?
I haven't seen anything.
Oh, you said you had seen some of it, maybe?
When I say some, I mean like literally I turned on the TV, Kurt Russell and some weird looking Muppet thing was on screen. I'm like, wow, crazy. And then I went outside or something.
Okay, great. Sounds like I'm timing this one, baby.
Maybe.
whoa.
Ready?
Yeah.
Good.
So we'll summarize the movie in 60
Does
seconds.
good mean go?
Go!
Oh.
We open on New York, baby.
Oh, yeah, that sounds right. And, we're in the kitchen
Ooh.
of a restaurant and somebody's running through it because they've just stolen some jewels
Oh, nice.
and they're in big trouble.
Kurt Russell is sleeveless.
He's got, white tank top on.
Ooh,
right?
nice.
And black kind of loose karate
Hell
pants.
yeah. Great bet.
There's big trouble in Little China, which is probably like Chinatown.
I would assume that's my assumption.
30 seconds.
Oh, my God.
And are we sure it's New York Chinatown?
No,
It's
not
San
at all.
Francisco? Okay.
In some way or another, Kurt Russell ends up in Chinatown and gets
In trouble.
mixed up in something.
Yeah, and he has to fight with like round kicks
Sure, yes, I
instead
love
of
that.
in like fists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's like outmatched. But then somebody comes to help him, some kind of
10
mentor.
seconds.
Somebody has a sword.
Oh, there's
There's
a
a blonde
romantic
lady.
Yes, there you go. There's definitely a romantic sideline
There's
storyline.
maybe magic at the end.
What?
Time.
Yeah.
Time. Wow, great. I want to just ask a point of clarification
Okay.
on what round kicks are. The way you used it, I wasn't sure.
I assume she means like back D-pad high kick button.
Like
Yeah.
roundhouse?
Roundhouse.
Okay.
Yes, one of the roundhouse
Yeah. Hell
kicks.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's the
I
primary
got it.
round kick.
Not like
Yeah.
a fan kick.
Yeah. Wow. That was great.
He does. What is the one? The dance move where you move
The
your
crane?
arms?
Oh, capoeira?
What are you
No.
talking about? Dance move where you move your arms?
Like just white people?
I want to say wing.
Windmill?
Windmill?
I don't know. What are you
No.
talking about?
The backpack kid?
What
I
dance
should
are we
know
doing?
this.
Floss.
I did dance for so long.
But which
I should know
kind of
this.
dance are we
Don't
talking
Tap. It's a tap
Like
move.
all dance
and
move your arms?
your arms are moving in an outward
Oh, and you're
circular
like
motion.
you're tapping in
and your
place,
feet
right?
go out. I want to say it's like a wing something.
Oh, you're talking
Wind-
about when you do like the cha-cha, cha-cha,
Yeah,
cha-cha
yeah,
thing.
yeah, yeah.
Is that what you're talking
Yes.
about? Oh, okay.
So fast we got away from the movie.
Yeah, okay, tell you what, I will look it up and I'll bring this information back in the
I'm
second
so
half.
mad I don't know this. I should definitely know this.
Well, let's give Beth a chance in the second half before Molly tells us what she learned.
Yeah.
Great.
I will give you some more information as
Please.
someone who saw this movie at least once in college.
Nice.
All right.
There is magic.
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Yes.
Like, here's what I'm worried about with this movie.
Okay.
It's like ancient Chinese magic.
Sure.
But like maybe the movie knows it's doing that and that sucks.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this is corny. But like there's definitely like
It's like Freaky Friday?
no.
Okay.
Are you saying like the movie acknowledges that it is like it's one of those things that we've talked before where like it's paying homage to like some bananas Asian cinema from the past?
Yeah,
But
maybe.
is also maybe participating in the problematic parts of it by doing that?
It could be.
Okay.
That's my primary concern with this
Okay.
movie.
Got it.
There's definitely like either a vampire or a wizard
Nice.
that
Wow.
looks like the Marvel character Fu Manchu. Is he a Marvel?
I mean,
The
no,
man-
but they
the
had.
Mandal-
He's a
Mandalorian?
many things
Mandarin.
character. The Mandarin is a Marvel character.
Okay.
Fu Manchu is not a Marvel character, but is what inspired the Mandarin.
Okay.
Does that help?
Yes.
Sorry, Molly's face was so funny.
She's like, what podcast am I on?
Why do you know that?
Oh, I know too much. Trust
And
me.
he might be a vampire. And
Is
then,
it-
like that Chinese vampire that hops. You guys know about Chinese vampires?
Oh, I think so, yeah.
They like hop in straight. They're
Hell
just like
yeah.
up and down. It's like corny and terrifying at the same time.
And can't they like not cross water or some shit?
Yeah, I think
I
running
just
water might be.
Listened to a podcast where they talked about Chinese vampires, how you have to, if there's a vampire, you got to throw rice on the ground because they have to count every grain of rice.
Nice.
Oh.
Good tips.
Man,
Hot tips.
I love that kind of folk shit. Like there's
Like, it's so arbitrary.
yeah, there's a Japanese like water demon or something. What's it called? A cap? I think it starts with a ka. Anyway, its head is filled with water. It's like it's like a cup head. Mm-hmm. And the way you defeat it is you bow to it, and it has to bow back, and then all its water falls out of its head. Gotcha.
Amazing.
How polite it.
Yeah.
I love it.
In Savannah, if you go on a ghost tour, they'll tell you if a ghost follows you home, set out oats, just uncooked oats.
Yeah.
What is it?
Because
What does a goat gotta
the
do?
oats just absorb the ghost or
I
something.
think it's just like it.
Because they're all they're vapor. And,
Yeah.
It like satisfies the ghost in some way, and they go away.
I mean, oats are very filling. So.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I went to Savannah,
No big deal.
no big deal, recently, and did not put out oats. So there probably is a ghost with us right
Yeah.
now.
Oh, no.
Maybe like a Chinese ghost from the movie Big Trouble in Little China.
oh,
Oh.
great!
I have a
bringing
Question
it
about
up.
the movie Big Trouble in Little China. Is beloved eternal actor James Hong in this movie?
Oh, wow. I hope so.
Okay.
I don't know. I can't name any other people in this movie.
Sure. It just feels like the kind of movie he would be in,
Yeah.
right? Because he's been around forever, and Hollywood was like, oh, we need Asian people for this movie.
Yeah. There's got to be someone who knows what's going down. I think Kurt Russell stumbles into the Big Trouble situation.
Okay.
I don't think he is competent in any way.
Oh,
I'm
not
gonna
even
say he's
round
like
kicks.
Am I
Like a cab driver or
Yeah,
something.
am I just pulling this completely out of my ass? Isn't it like he wants his truck back or something?
I
He's a
believe that.
trucker?
I don't know if he's a trucker, but like, doesn't his vehicle like get stolen by the troublemakers or something?
Yeah.
Is that what they're called? The
I don't know.
troublemakers?
The big troublemakers.
Oh, okay.
But like in Mandarin,
Yeah.
like it's
Oh,
whatever
okay.
whatever troublemaker is in Mandarin
Yeah.
Okay.
or Cantonese or whatever.
And then he like probably teams up with the good guys. I think
So there
there's
are
some-
other
Those
good
good guys.
There
There's
are.
got to be good guys.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he's caught in the middle.
Oh, I see.
And there's a fireball.
Ooh, okay.
Maybe a green fireball.
Yes.
I'm going to say there's a green
This
fireball.
is not at all what I pictured.
No. Can you wait? Tell me more about this fireball, though. Like, is it like somebody produces the fireball and they can
Yeah.
like, throw it?
Nice.
Yeah, it's like a magic spell.
Like
Hell
kind of
yeah.
like a Mortal Kombat kind of
Ooh, yeah.
power.
yeah.
Okay.
Like Shang Tsung. Oh, those are flaming skulls, though,
Yeah.
Oh,
right?
Who shoots a fireball?
I just
What?
get over here. That's what I
Scorpion.
remember.
Scorpion. I mean, that's not a fireball.
No,
he
it's-
breathes
No, it's-
fire.
Grapple, yeah.
Does he?
Yeah.
All I did was push as many buttons as
Yeah.
possible,
No, that's
and
the correct.
I
That's the
would
correct way.
beat everybody.
Yeah.
Jump kick over and over,
Yep.
followed by low
Am I?
kicks.
I'm not. I didn't. Again, another thing. I'm pretty sure I didn't pull my ass. There are like some sort of weird Muppet creatures in this movie, right?
Yeah, I think his movie's pretty bananas.
Okay.
Oh,
I think there's like a lot going on.
Yeah. Because I feel
Maybe like some weird Muppet demons.
that's the vague memory I have of just like turning on the TV randomly at home. I feel like it was like Kurt Russell and then just like some weird, almost like more creepy version of Slimer from the Ghostbusters, kind of like floating towards him.
yeah.
oh,
I think it's got sort of that 80s energy of like Gremlins.
Where like
or,
who cares? Anything can happen.
Those things from Chuds.
The
Is that
Chuds,
something? Yeah.
Yeah.
Cannibalistic.
humanoid
human-
underdwellers or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Chuds.
Chud.
They're above ground. We're the ones
Oh,
underground.
we're the Chud.
what is that from?
That's a movie.
It's a movie called
It's
Chuds.
like a real
Oh, it's
shitty
called Chud.
It's
Okay.
about
cult,
Chuds.
cult classic.
We're not here to talk about Chuds.
Big
No.
Trouble, Little China. I can't think of any women. Do we think it'll pass the Bechdel-Wallace
I'm gonna-
test?
No.
No.
I want to be spicy and say yes just to keep it interesting, but I don't have anything to base it on. I just don't think I think women might talk to each other, but they won't be named.
Ooh, yeah. Here's Dan's bet. I bet there is one woman that is like, an actual also starring character that interacts with Kurt Russell a lot. I'm going to guess there are also at least two, if not any other multiple of bad women who maybe never talk at all, but just like do crazy magic or kung fu at them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like this
Do you
is the
think
movie
that-
where I should guess Shelley Duvall.
Awesome.
Go for it.
Do you think that those two, like the good woman and the bad woman, fight each other?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think there's a good woman, bad woman fight.
Well, in that case, they might talk.
Yeah, maybe.
You take it, get you. That counts.
This might be a bad version of Totes Recall Pass, where they're just like, eat shit, bitch, or whatever it was in that movie.
Terrible.
Where they were fighting each other.
Yeah.
That was Alien, maybe. You know what? I'm going to keep it spicy. I'm going to say it will pass, but in a depressing way.
Okay.
Bad pass.
Yeah.
Bad
Sad pass.
Sad pass.
Sad pass.
My notes are abysmal. I'm just going to put it out there now.
No, I took some notes because I saw you weren't writing.
Wow.
Big trouble at this little table.
Oh, nice.
I am going to make a bold bet that the name of this movie is going to be checked in this movie.
Really?
Someone's going to say, like, we've got Big Trouble in Little China.
Huh.
All together in
wink
one
at
sentence?
the screen.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then wink at the screen afterward?
Ooh, that's a stretch goal.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, stretch goal.
I love
Great.
it.
I'm going to make a bold bet that when I inevitably look this up on Wikipedia, that I will find out at least one actor got injured in the making of this.
Oh.
Wow.
Nice.
That's a good bet.
Thanks.
Are there animals?
Oh, there better not.
Great
Is there
question.
animal danger in this? Because I'm not watching.
It feels like the kind of movie where there could be,
Yeah.
right?
Like chicken danger?
Like they're in a market.
dog danger?
Or like a dog, or like maybe even a cat. Like a cat's just wandering
It
around,
feels like there'll be street animals.
right?
Yeah.
And maybe they get like thrown at each other, like in Point Break.
Yeah.
Boy.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about that. That's the best part of that movie for
it
sure.
really
It's
is.
really good.
Terrible.
It's just so surprising.
Yeah, why?
Because Swayze knew it was the ultimate escape move.
It worked.
It did
got
work.
away.
We're referring, of course, to when a dog gets thrown.
We
right?
are, of course, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Swayze throws a dog at Keanu
Yeah.
In a chase.
and gets him.
Yeah.
Gets him.
And then Keanu kicks the dog.
Keanu kicks the dog.
Good job. Yeah, that's right. Got to get his man. He doesn't, but he does fall in love.
Yeah. Anyway, this is not that movie. This is the
do we
other
think
uncle.
Kurt Russell falls in love?
Ooh.
Oh.
I'm going to say yes.
I bet he kisses good woman at the end of this movie.
Okay.
I bet there's like a
Big
big,
kiss.
Like, yeah.
Big kiss
a
and
big kiss.
little
Like a
couple.
Like a,
Yeah.
what do you call it when you like hold someone and you don't fall down, but
The dip?
yep.
Okay.
Wow. I can't believe you got that. That's incredible.
Hold someone and,
And
don't
then-
fall down.
'Cause that's when you're in traditional gender roles, the man is doing the dipping.
Right.
And from my experience, you don't want to drop
Well,
the
for
dipping.
sure.
Like
Right,
that's
right.
almost the primary goal.
Probably from most people's experience.
But like as a smaller person with less muscles,
Yeah.
Sure.
a lot of my time is spent thinking about not dropping people
I see.
if I'm trying to support them.
Is that part of the reason Kurt Russell was such a point of admiration for you as a child? Like, oh, he's so good at not dropping people.
Yeah.
And Swayze with that lift.
Imagine there's like
yeah.
a full 30% of your brain operating at all times, just like, how do I not drop this?
Because that's the worst it can go. Like
Sure.
if the kiss is bad, it's bad, right?
at least you
that's the
didn't
important
drop
part. But you didn't drop them.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good point. That's a good point. It is a memorable kiss if you drop them in
Yeah.
a bad way.
Yes. Wow.
Yeah.
Do we think Kurt Russell has a like goofball buddy before he enters Little China?
Ooh.
Or does he just meet up people who then become his comic relief buddies?
If you say that he's a trucker,
I don't know.
He has a truck.
I think he
has-
just has
okay.
a truck.
Like a
Like-
pickup truck?
in
Yeah.
my mind, then like he's like out on the road on his own, and he's kind of like going solo.
Sure.
That's my guess. Beth's bet.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think he has a buddy external to the Big Trouble.
Gotcha. Because it's like it feels like the kind of character and premise where like there could be like, you know how in Looney Tunes there was like that big dog and that little dog that would just like hyperactively jump around the big dog and
Yeah.
like keep talking. This feels like the kind of movie where Kurt Russell could have that kind of friend.
Sure.
I feel like, how are we going to find out he's the good guy? Right? Is he going to like
Oh, save a cat or something?
save a
Or
cat
just
or
like
like
be nice to someone.
like chase down a criminal or
Well, maybe.
like
Maybe he's
interrupts
gonna,
a heist?
Maybe that's what happens is like someone steals something and runs towards Chinatown. He's just like, hey, and then tries to get them. And then he gets wrapped up in all this big trouble.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he probably just gets like a run into. He doesn't really take an active role.
It's like a meet cute for danger.
Nice.
Yeah.
Love that.
Danger
Okay.
meat.
Danger. Cute. Cute danger meat.
Cute danger meat.
Okay. Wow. Well, I feel like I
Dr.
think
Cute
like
Danger Meat. Great name.
I feel like typically we have more to talk about.
Yeah. Only one of us has seen the movie. It's me, and I don't remember anything.
Attaboy.
Okay.
So let's get to the end of the first half in which
Yep.
we rate the movies.
I'm proud of our hot bets, though. I feel like we put some good bets down.
Yeah. They were bold.
They were
bold.
bold. Eel Bold, Big Man,
Big Trouble.
Big Trouble,
Beyond
Bill-
Blair Witch.
Betrothed,
Dragons.
Blair Witch,
That's beyond
boyfriend.
Blair.
Boy.
We have really
Vegas.
lost track of that. Bold.
Call in at our phone line if you think you can do a better Beelbold Baggins.
612 something
089.
Put-a-do.
The last T's don't matter, but you do.
612-208-9788. The last two letters don't matter, but you do.
What the eights do.
Yeah, those aren't letters.
Make sure you type in all the numbers.
Molly, how should we rate this film, Big Trouble in Little China?
Kiss drops.
Wow.
Drops.
Okay, now are these Dan's worst fear, or this is something?
No,
okay.
it's lovely.
A kiss drop.
It's-
Yeah.
Is
Is it like a mic drop when you you really deliver a good line and then kiss the person?
or is that you deliver such a good kiss that you're just like, boom.
Kiss drop, and then you back out of the room.
Yeah, either of those could be true. Originally, when I was thinking of the packaging, I was thinking of like a gumdrop.
Wait,
and like
this
a
is a
Hershey's
product.
Kiss.
This is a
Okay.
product.
It's a I mean, it's obviously a product.
I don't know.
Listen, we are driven by commercialism
That's true.
and
ABC.
consumerism
Okay.
as
Yeah.
But no, I mean, you know,
Pre-trademarked.
pre-trade
Kiss drops.
kiss drops.
Okay, hit me.
But I think what you're describing to me is the campaign.
Sure, like it's got Mentos energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
okay.
like there's a kiss and then a mic drop.
Okay, so what is the packaging you were describing?
Well, I actually see it as sort of mint green and white,
Mm-hmm.
kind of classic, a little bit old fashioned, but updated.
Is it an individual kiss drop, or is it like a pack of them?
Well,
Yeah.
you tell me.
They're shaped like a big water drop, right? They're chocolate.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
yeah.
Wait, they're chocolate? I thought you said that they were
And they have
gummy.
a gumdrop inside.
No, I said they're inspired
Ew.
by a gumdrop and a Hershey's Kiss. They're a kiss
Chocolate-covered
drop.
gumdrop.
Oh.
Okay, so they're like
Blah.
I do
Maybe some of them are chocolates and some of them are gumdrops.
No, it's fine. Let Dan live his disgusting dreams.
I would actually be very interested in that because if I want like candy, I always want something chocolatey and something gummy.
Yes.
This is
So
that.
like a package of something that's chocolate and gummy
Yeah.
together,
But Dan wants them,
not
like-
together.
That's what I'm
actually,
saying.
you know what? Chocolate covered gummy bears are incrable.
Yeah.
That's a real thing?
Yes, they're so good.
I don't know.
I
No,
think
they're
it's
good.
Well, and I'm so glad you brought that up, Beth, because for this particular product, it's all three.
What's the third thing?
Well, it's just chocolate, just gummy, and chocolate covered gummy.
Oh,
Sounds
wow.
like there's something for everyone.
Yes.
Yeah. Is it a mystery? It's like assorted
It's meant to be
chocolates?
shared.
Okay.
So there's
By
like a
someone who comes
tray.
in and kisses you.
Well, I mean, you would probably share it with somebody who was
So is
you're
the
interested in
campaign is the
kissing.
campaign like you give an amazing kiss and then you walk out of the room and then the person who got kissed looks over and there's a entire tray of kiss drops on the
Yeah.
nightstand.
Oh, and that's
Yes,
the kiss drop.
that's
Like
the kiss
being
drop.
kissed.
Yep.
But
Or
candy.
they wake up after perhaps they've gotten together overnight and they reach over to the
Okay.
pillow
Lovely.
and there's a note that says "till later," and there's a little beautiful box of kiss drops.
Nice.
This is on television. This
Yes,
advertisement.
but it's sanitized.
There's going to be a campaign about it.
Yeah.
Some
Well,
angry
that's
parents are going to be like, "This is inappropriate."
that is actually the entire marketing budget is
Exactly.
getting people upset about it
Exactly.
because we
Okay.
actually
It's just like the horny M&Ms.
yeah.
That's right.
So I think we pretty fully understand.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
It's a
Yeah.
horny candy.
it's
We got it.
It's a horny candy with something for everyone because some people are horrified at the idea of mixing them together.
Yeah.
But some people love it.
yeah for everyone.
Yeah.
Dan, how many of these drops you give it?
Ooh, boy. Okay. Like this movie, from what little I know about it, but just from what I have, even just like the visual information I vaguely remember from as a child, it seems like this is a movie I would adore because it sounds like it is absolutely bananas. But because it's from the 80s and it's because its entire premise centers around an American dealing with Asian culture, I'm a little hesitant. So I'm going to say 4. Because I do think it's going to be fun, but I am worried about certain elements.
Yeah. Well, that feels pretty similar to what I am going to say.
Beth, you're second, as we all know.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, it's bananas with Kurt Russell in it.
Hunk.
He's a hunk. But also, I am afraid.
Hunkle.
Oh.
I don't know.
I get it.
I don't know if I like that.
That could be Dan's thing.
Yeah, Dan, you
I'll save it for
take that one. But yeah, I am afraid. I'm very afraid. So I'm going to go to Coward Island
Oh.
and do 2.5.
Wow.
Shots.
Yeah, I see what's happening here. I see what's happening.
All right. I am third, as we all know. I basically have the same opinion. It seems like a movie I would love, but I can't remember much about it, and I'm worried about its problems. But Kurt Russell's the ultimate Hunkle.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man.
I hate that. That's something. Sorry.
So I'm also going to go 4.
Okay.
Molly, you're last, as we all know.
And I do not take offense, as we also know.
Yes.
Because I need time to think. So typically I would give it a cowardly 3 and then maybe deduct a point for potential cringe. But Kurt Russell looking hunky with that hair and the all-important bump.
Yes, of course.
Because out of respect for our executive producer who selected this, probably because he thought we would enjoy it. So for those reasons, 3.5.
Nice.
And with that, we're going to press pause, go watch Big Trouble in Little China, and we'll be right back.
Hello, listeners. It's also Dan, the one you're already sick of listening to from the first half, probably. Folks, this, as you already have probably gleaned, is an executive-produced episode by our good new friend, Luke Phillips.
Yes.
And you might be asking yourself, I want to force those people to watch a movie that I want them to watch.
Yeah.
How come Luke got to do that? How come Luke Phillips got to executive produce an episode of Totes Recall?
Why did he?
I'll tell you.
Does he have an in? Does he just know somebody?
He does have an in, and that in is that he went to patreon.com/TotesRecall.
.com.
And
There's
he
not a second .com.
selected a tier that we have available
Okay.
on our Patreon.
Ooh.
It is at $25 a month.
Wow.
Okay, not $25 a day, because this is a lot of our time. Really? For just $25 a month, we
It's a
give away?
hot deal. Let me
Do you have to give that for the rest of your life?
let me assure both of you of the middle ground that will hopefully please both of your concerns. Luke Phillips, he paid $25 a month for 1 year.
Wow.
And
Okay.
in that moment, he triggered a messenger pigeon that came to Beth and said, ding, 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 Luke Phillips gets to
I had to
select.
train it to talk.
After it landed on you or beforehand?
It was like, it just kind of like cooed at
It
me
was like
for a
frantically
while.
cooing
And I was
at
like,
you.
I don't know.
Hold on. Learn English.
So
pigeon.
I had to teach it how to speak English.
Wow.
And then the next
year
thing
later.
happened.
Best
1 year
podcast
later.
producer in the biz. That's what you get here at Totes Recall. And that's how it happened.
Wow.
Isn't that great?
What if I want to do this, but I want it to happen immediately?
Like you want it now.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
the
I mean,
kids.
fairly immediately,
Veruca
like within a
Salt?
few months.
Which one's now?
Yeah. She wants it now.
If you're a Veruca Salt patron, let me tell you, there is a hot deal. Totes Recall. No, patreon.com/TotesRecall. You can actually pay in advance
Oh, wow.
for an entire year,
Whoa.
right? So you can get it now. And you might be thinking, well, hold on. That sounds like a lot of money
That
at
sounds
once.
like it's probably extra for the privilege of getting it now.
Let me tell you something, Dan. You're gonna shit your pants.
Oh my
If
god.
you
Sorry,
pay
Beth's chair.
if you pay this amount for a year up front, you actually get a significant discount.
Wow.
Whoa. Oh my god.
Come on.
This is not that kind of podcast.
No.
Isn't it?
Take it out.
So you have actually two options to executive produce, and one of them is low and slow, like you're cooking eggs,
Okay.
or one of them is hot and now, like you're flash frying a chicken fried steak.
Okay.
No.
Either way, delicious, and you get to tell us to watch a movie.
Sounds
Wow.
great.
It is
Sold.
great.
That's awesome.
So if you want to be as cool as Luke Phillips, who, let me be clear, on the record is very cool,
Coolest.
go to patreon.com/TotesRecall and select
.com.
the $25 a month tier. God damn it. All right. Back to the show.
Yay. And we're we're back. We just watched 100 minutes of synthesizer music, lot of green neon.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
Lots of martial arts and a lot of exposition.
Yes, baby.
So much.
It's really an
It's
impressive amount.
like so much quick exposition for the whole movie.
I'd like to very quickly read a quote of our own Dan Jaquette during the movie. At one point, Dan said, quote, "It somehow moves very fast, but is also all exposition."
Yeah, it really blew my mind. It was like, this movie moves at a clip, but it's like every scene is like dense mythology and backstory.
Just so everyone's clear about why we're here, let me just give you a quick...
Yeah. And speaking of dense information downloads.
Okay.
Yeah.
The DID. See what I did there?
Yeah. No. Podcast over.
Another thing that did just happen is an award crashed through the window. Beth, you probably want to edit out that glass shattering.
Right.
It was so loud, like I want to save everyone's ears.
Oh, there's another award for the best segue of all time.
Yes.
Wow, good job, Dan.
And I'm looking at these awards. They're from the commission. And they are for a segment that we do called 60-Second Summary.
60-second summary. It's 60-second summary. It's 60-second summary. The 60 seconds for summarizing movies today.
.com. And it's where we summarize the movie we just watched, Big Trouble in Little China, in 60 seconds exactly.
Yeah.
Traditional manner is that I volunteer.
Pretty sure you went last time.
Yeah.
I did. That's also my memory. So someone else should do it. I feel like Beth has maybe never done it.
I did it like 2 ago.
I don't. Let's check the tapes. I think it's been at least 3.
I honestly do not think that I can summarize this movie because what even happened?
It sounds like you're the best candidate then.
No.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I'm going to cry.
Perfect. We open.
Do you want me to do it? I will volunteer.
I will volunteer.
Oh, please do.
Oh, wow.
Save me.
All right.
Okay. I will do the timing then.
Oh,
God damn it, Beth. You did this to me.
It's all a ploy.
All right. Go ahead, Molly.
I'm good at timing.
You're not.
What app are you even trying to open?
She's doing her calculator.
She like almost opened the New York Times
plus
app. What was that?
I just need to get a crossword in real quick. Are we that boring? We just started.
Okay.
Oh.
All right.
Yep.
And we open on and begin.
We open on the open road. Jack Burton is eating a Philly cheesesteak in his truck while waxing philosophical on the CB radio. He is delivering, I think, literal pigs to a Chinese market in Chinatown in San Francisco.
14 seconds.
God damn it. He gambles with his friend Wang a lot. And then Wang tries to cut a bottle and is like, oh, I don't have the money. Come to my restaurant. And then in their attempt to drive their truck back to the restaurant, they somehow get involved in an ancient battle between 2 kung fu schools
30 seconds.
that then involve lightning wizards and a ghost. Jack Burton reluctantly, but not reluctantly at all, sort of ignorantly follows along while they battle these ghosts, and there's more kung fu and Muppet monsters, and the ghost is horny, but he's horny for a reason because it'll like bring him back to life.
10 seconds.
There are cool fights. There is lightning. Something explodes. Jack Burton sometimes does or does not have sleeves. He is ripped.
Time.
How'd I do?
I mean, not bad.
Okay.
I'd say 100% you, Tom.
Wow. All right.
Also my opinion.
Thank you.
In case there are differing opinions out there, I have a little website I like to consult called Wikipedia, which we'll talk about later.
Okay.
I almost pushed that button. That's close.
Hovering over the button.
We just can't do 2 award-winning segments back to back.
That'd be
It's
too
too
much.
It's
Yeah.
overstimulating.
So
Yeah.
we'll save that. But this is from Wikipedia. Big Trouble in Little China, also known as John Carpenter's Big Trouble in Little China,
Braggy.
is a 1986, that's painful, American fantasy action comedy film directed by John Carpenter and starring Kurt Russell, Kim Cattrall, Dennis Dunn, and James Hwang. The film tells the story of truck driver Jack Burton Russell, who helps his friend Wang Chi Dunn rescue Wang's green-eyed fiancée from bandits in San Francisco's Chinatown. They go into a mysterious underground world beneath Chinatown where they face an ancient sorcerer named David Lo Pan, who requires a woman with green eyes to marry him in order to be released from a centuries-old curse.
Yeah.
Ooh.
And that was simplified. Like,
Yes.
that is...
Yeah.
But yeah, it's wild. Like, if you had asked me what the plot of the movie was,
Right.
I don't know that I would have remembered even the main crux of it, which is that an evil underlord who's basically Voldemort
Yeah.
and his flesh is rotting needs to marry a green-eyed woman.
I'd like to thank Wikipedia for
Yeah.
calling me in to remind us that there were women characters in this movie, because I don't think I mentioned them at all in my summary.
Yeah.
They were there.
They need to be saved.
Yes.
Yeah.
So-
and they are.
And they are.
So mission accomplished.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Roll out the banner.
Yeah. Although some good news is that Kim Cattrall's character never asks, "What do we do?" And she has a pretty solid banter and is more of an insider
Yes.
than Jack, who
Yes.
is a total outsider.
Yes. She knows way more about what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
And also is like very quick to call him on his shit.
Yeah. And they have sort of a romance.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah, before we get too deep into
Yes.
the weeds, I wanted to just tag up on why Luke, our executive producer, picked this movie.
Thank you, Luke.
Yeah. He says, as to why I picked it, I love this movie and how bonkers it is. I also think a lot of its bad moviness is intentional. Like when Gracie Law, a lawyer, bursts through the door and just explains her reason for being in the movie.
Yes.
John Carpenter knows how to make a movie and how goofy that is. As for questions, he wants to know what's your favorite of the hells in the movie, and do you think modern Hollywood should make the sequel hinted at by the end of the movie?
Oh.
And adds, tell Molly it's okay for her to hate it if she wants.
That's nice. That's very kind of Luke.
Yeah, so thank you, Luke.
Absolutely want them to make a sequel because, okay, for those of you who haven't seen the movie, there is a bonkers, like, Muppet fuzzy monster.
It's evil orangutan.
It's like
demon?
it's like a bad Chewbacca costume or something that like
Yeah.
melted in a fire, like a
Yeah.
warehouse fire.
But there's never a point where it's like truly like hurting anyone. And so throughout the movie, Molly's joke is that it just loves weddings.
Yes. Yes. It like pokes its head in during the wedding
And
ceremony.
is like trying to like see the wedding
Yeah.
better. And so I just love the idea that they just go to weddings together. They're like,
Oh,
it's
wow.
like-
Jack and the
Wedding
Monster.
Crashers.
yeah, it's like, Wedding Crashers,
Yes.
but with those two. And it's
Yes.
like
Oh,
I'd watch
Jack's
that.
plus one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be so fun.
I also love that they like
Okay, here it is. So they
Okay.
get in Jack's truck,
Yes.
which is an actual truck. It's like a Mack truck.
Beth nailed it. He is an actual trucker.
Actual trucker. So he and his Muppet wedding friends
Yes.
go around the country to all of his ex-wives and ex-girlfriends and watch their weddings,
Yes.
crash their weddings.
And he gets closure on his
Yes.
relationship
Yes.
problems, and they really work it out on the road.
Yeah.
Yes, and the monster is his backup.
And then eventually the monster meets the monster's future wife, and that's the last wedding.
Oh my god.
This
should
is
be an
good.
HBO miniseries.
I'm not even kidding. I
Yeah,
would
this
definitely
rules.
watch that. Like, what an amazing follow up to this movie.
I believe there is either a remake or a sequel in production that The Rock is attached to in some capacity.
Not sure how I
No.
feel about that.
Yeah, I
He'll
agree.
be able to walk that line that
No.
Jack
No, he
Russell
doesn't.
did.
He can't. Yeah,
can't.
Kurt Russell is
good.
fantastic.
Oh my god.
Jack Russell, yeah.
Jack Russell?
Yeah.
Isn't that a type of dog?
Yes, it is. That's correct.
Sorry. It's a dog from Frasier.
Yeah. Yeah. He's
He's such a goon. He's like, apparently he's a Californian because he says we're just two Californians talking.
Yeah,
the
but
way.
then
But he like
he's like-
sounds like he's like John Wayne from Chicago.
Yes,
Yes.
that's exactly right. Yes.
That is, yeah, John Wayne.
By the end of the movie, he's talking exactly like John Wayne.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was written for him. It was written as a Western.
Wait, what? What do you mean?
Yes, the original script was a Western, and it took place in early Chinatown.
Okay.
And it had all these
Okay.
mystical elements. And so someone bought the script from two guys who wrote it and was like, the script is garbage, but there are some good ideas in it. I'm going to give it to someone else. And of course, the first two screenplay writers were very upset about that. They are credited ultimately in the movie. So they gave it to another person who was like, I just took out almost everything. but kept that it was a John Wayne style character.
I see.
But essentially made Jack Taylor.
Jack Russell's fine.
Jack Russell.
Jack Taylor.
Jack Taylor.
Who's
his
Jack
name?
Taylor?
What's his name? The guy.
Jack Burton.
Jack Burton.
Played by Kurt Russell.
Okay.
Where's the Taylor?
Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Oh, of course.
Soldier Spy.
Yeah.
Tinker.
Jonathan Tinker Taylor Thomas Soldier
This is
Spy.
not helping
Russell.
my ability to remember Jack Burton.
Sorry. Yes.
Just think of snowboards.
What snowboards?
Oh,
Burton's a brand of snowboard.
it sure is. I
He's
used
a
to have one.
Californian. We grip it and rip it.
Okay.
Oh, must be nice. So what was I even saying?
John Wayne?
So he's still like they didn't change him from being a John Wayne type.
They kept him as a John Wayne type. They kept that kind of Western motif because there's a point in the gang fight at the beginning that happens that they drive into in his Mack truck.
Yeah.
Where there's like literal like Western sounds and like the guy with the, you know what I'm saying?
The bandolier guy.
Yeah.
And
He's
it's
got like
cool.
2 6-shooters that
Two
he's
like
about
beautiful gold inlaid
Yes.
6-shooters.
Yeah.
So they kept some of those elements, but then they basically made Jack Burton is honestly the sidekick character, the comedic relief, the like pretty inept but brave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in his own mind, he's the central character.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, and he played it so good.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And apparently, Kurt Russell
Kurt Taylor.
turned it down for the first time because he's like, I can't get this character. And when he finally hooked into, he's a buffoon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get it. I know how to play this guy. He thinks he's John Wayne.
Yes.
But he's not. So anyway, that explains so much. But it is weird because it starts out John Wayne and then it goes through this journey and then returns to John Wayne. It's like they shot those 2 scenes in succession and then he forgot about it in between. But there was, to his credit, there was a lot to remember in this movie.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it really cracked me up right before the big
Oh my God.
the big fight.
So good.
He like gets out there, they're all lining up, and he shoots his gun in the air, knocks some roof out, and knocks himself cold for like the first couple minutes of the fight.
Yeah, the fact that most of the time spent during the final battle with like his character was just him accidentally creating obstacles for himself.
Yeah.
Like at one point he does like a pretty slick move where he like pushes his own boot knife out as some weird dragon knight is like coming at him and like stabs the knight. But then what that means is that the dude dies on top of his legs and he's like really struggling to push his fully armored body off of him for like 10 minutes.
And they just keep cutting between him like still stuck on this guy.
While Wang is doing like insane cartwheels and like sword fighting in midair with Thunder or whatever the fuck their names were.
Yeah, there's
he
like-
wasn't Thunder.
Thunder, yeah, they're
He was
the
the other
Storm
one.
Knights or whatever.
The Three Storms.
The 3 Storms. They're all like look like Raiden from
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Which was like
Except for with giant hats.
Their introduction was the moment I was all in on this movie because I was already like, this is hilarious. He and Wang are stuck in this truck while an entirely different movie is happening while these 2 kung fu schools fight each other. Then out of nowhere, there's a burst of magic fire and this dude in a giant hat comes out and just like shoots wind at them or something. And then a third guy rides a lightning bolt like he's coming down a fire pole.
Yeah.
Or I guess it's more like he's being lowered from a helicopter.
Yes.
Oh my God.
It really is. I think that's a great description. It's like there's a movie with 2 guys in a Mack truck, and then there's a movie with a street fight scene, and then there's like a supernatural movie.
And then they all get pulled into the last movie. Right?
Yes.
Like they're all sort of forced to be in the last
And
movie.
then there's also like some very like My Girl Friday, like bantery film noir stuff happening.
I think Cattrall is really doing like a
Say, mister, I've got a bug in my butt. I don't know.
I'm a lawyer.
Yeah. My name is Gracie Law, lawyer at law.
I'm here to blah blah. Like she really does. That is not
like,
an exaggeration.
blasts into the restaurant and it's basically.
and she does great with like the quick talking.
Oh my God, it's great.
Not femme fatale. I feel like there's a term for that kind of lady character in noirs.
I think Molly's got it right. It's sort of like His Girl Friday, where it's
Yeah.
just like, yeah, I can give it as much as I can take it, mister.
Is that
Yeah.
an actual character?
His Girl Friday's a movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And I may have read that on Wikipedia, just to be totally honest. But it did make sense to me. So there you have it. It has been edited through my brain.
Yeah.
But yeah, I felt so bad for not guessing Kim Cattrall. Because she's great in this.
But you haven't seen it. Why would you
I know,
why would you
but
know
I
that?
was like
only
throwing
one
out
woman.
Shelley Duvall, which I do every time because I know someday it's going to be true. And the one time I don't, I'm going to be so mad at myself
Yes,
for
you
not
are.
guessing it. But
Yeah.
it really doesn't make any sense
Yeah.
as a guess. But she's great, and she's so apparently she'd only done like Porky's and like some
Oh, this is, like, one
comedies
of her first
before
movies?
this. Yeah, this is one of her early ones.
great, yeah.
She's great.
We also have a second woman
Yes.
who is Margie Newspaper.
Yep.
Oh, Margot, yeah.
There's like some real like shade thrown at her newspaper too, because she's like from like the Berkeley Examiner, like some like small paper that you
Yeah.
never heard of.
This is like going to be her big break.
Yeah, and immediately Gracie Law goes, "I'm just trying to get anyone in the press to cover this." Like, it's some real shade.
Yeah.
And they talk to each other big time.
Oh, yeah, they
Yes.
I got a whole
About
thing
lots
in
of
the
different
car.
things.
Lots of things.
Yeah.
Including like the supernatural, bizarre stuff that's happening and their careers.
Yeah.
Also, there's human trafficking in this.
I mean, that is the thing that Gracie Law and Margot Newspaper are like ostensibly actually trying to cover.
Yes.
Yes.
That makes sense.
Like, that's why she had Tara, the other woman at the airport. That's why Gracie Law had her in her apartment, because I think she was trying to keep her safe from the traffickers.
Oh, she was a potential trafficker.
Yeah.
So we at the airport when
Wait,
everybody
what happened
collides.
to that lady?
We don't know. She just stayed at her apartment, I guess. Stayed at Gracie Law's apartment while they went off to the seven hells of Lopan or whatever the hell was happening.
So
Okay.
the Dragon Gang, the Dragon Lord Gang, what are they
Death
actually
Lord.
called?
Lords of Death.
Lords of Death.
Yeah.
Okay. First, we have to talk about.
Let's back up.
Yeah. Before I ask my question, I have to point out that we first see the Lords of Death. 3
Oh my
like
God.
classic 80s street toughs with like each has a different kind of sunglasses on.
The guy in the middle.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know how to describe it.
Like sunglasses with just little slits?
They look like the ones that people wear when they go like tanning almost.
Oh, yeah.
Or like I think there is maybe, it might be the Inuits where they like did that. Like they traditionally would take like bones and like carve them like that for snow blindness, where like they'd limit their vision so they wouldn't get so much light blasting in their face from the snow.
I feel like I've seen that.
So I think they looked very similar to that, but it's still wild to just see it on like a very snappily dressed Chinese man.
Yeah, in an
In the
airport.
80s.
Yeah.
In an airport.
And they are in San Francisco.
Yes. Sorry.
There was some New York guessing before.
Yeah. Which makes way more sense now that as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, right, that's the Chinatown everyone thinks about.
No,
when
there
they-
was a lot of O writing as this
Yeah.
movie started.
Yeah.
Yep. And it starts like in a lawyer's office. Apparently this part got tacked on at the end.
Yeah.
Was it because test
we didn't even
audiences were
talk
like
about
losing
Egg.
their minds?
We
Yeah.
can talk about Egg.
Egg
Shen,
Rules.
who is basically the Van Helsing of this movie.
But he's
And
also a
is
tour
Dracula.
bus driver.
Yeah.
Yes.
Um,
Both true.
Yeah, they open with him basically like explaining some lawyer.
He's basically he is trying to hire this guy to be his attorney.
Is he actually in trouble with the law because of all the Chinatown?
Yeah,
Big
attorney thing.
trouble.
He's in big trouble, according to his lawyer.
Yeah, because the lawyer mentions that like, where are the whereabouts of Jack Burton? Because I'm assuming like Jack and all the rest of them boys are getting blamed for like the giant explosions and collapsed buildings in Chinatown.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Because they saw his truck driving away as the cops and fire trucks were showing up at the end.
Sure.
Yeah.
He does find his truck. You were right, Dan. You kept talking about
Wanted a truck.
He wanted his truck, and he finds it.
Okay, that was when I was half locked in, was in that opening scene where Egg is trying to convince his lawyer all this is real. And he's like, why should I believe? He's like, yeah, I believe in sorcery and Chinese black magic. And the lawyer's like, okay, but you want me to believe? And he's like, yeah. And he's like, well, why should I? And then he just like shoots lightning across his hands.
I forgot about that.
Amazing.
The guy playing the lawyer plays such a good, like, sort of grumpy, kind of invested white dude. You know what I mean? Like, just perfect.
Yeah, and we don't ever see Egg Shen like shoot any bad guys with lightning. He mostly has like
He has
magic
that
crystals.
Yeah, he has that purple.
Yeah, the purple blade that like releases his Pokemon or whatever. God, that was so good.
That blew my mind.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Lopan and Egg Shen fight each other by shooting laser beams at each other, and then the laser beams like superimposed over top of them, two like spirit warriors fight over.
Cool.
And like James Hong, who plays Lopan and Crushes, local reference.
Damn it.
Like very much is like pretending to do video games.
Yes, he's like
wiggles
moving his thumbs
around
around.
as he's doing his spirit
so
warrior.
good.
It's so wild.
And during it, Dan, you asked, what is this for?
Yeah.
And I didn't feel like I had time to even answer. I wanted to. I was just so awash in all that was happening. But I was like, it's because someone in the audience might think, why don't they just have their spirit lord sorted out? Because they go through this whole battle of shadow selves fighting, and it's a draw.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I guess all of this is still happening while Jack Bauer
Oh, boy.
Jesus.
is on the floor with that armor guy. Like, really, Wang is doing almost all of the work.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. He is clearly the actual hero of this movie. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
I love that part of it.
Me too.
I think that's such a, I don't know, I think that's so fun.
And I think that's how I was concerned in the first half that
Yes.
this would have too much like ancient Chinese magic.
Yeah.
White man saves the day. And I think it works because
Yeah, I think
Jack Burton is such an
Idiot.
doof.
Yeah.
But he's like good. I like him too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's not like too cocky. He's like confident enough, but he's also like he's like on board with everybody.
It's such an interesting movie because I feel like there are so many parts that are very racist. Like the fact that the Asian woman character, who I can't remember her name now because she's mentioned,
Yeah. Mao. Fuck.
but the other woman with green eyes, not Kim Cattrall's character, she says like 3 words the
Yes.
entire movie. She's like she's kind of that like meek Asian woman
Yeah.
stereotype,
Yeah.
which is a bummer. And then Egg is kind of the like wise old man kind of I don't know. There's a lot of stereotypes and a lot of things that are like, I don't know about this. And at the same time, they managed to create a movie that has almost an entirely Asian cast,
Yeah.
where they make the white man character like such an idiot that I don't even know how to
it's hard
describe
to say
it.
because, like, yes, there's a lot of stereotypes, but like also like the whole point is that it's like this Chinese mythology that has come to California, basically. So it's like, are they I don't know, like maybe a historian of like the Chinese culture could say like how accurate. Like, obviously, the neon skull escalator is something completely separate from that.
Something completely awesome.
Amazing, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, it was nice because I was mostly worried about, because it was like, I knew that it was like Kurt Russell is sort of like the fish out of water white dude. I was worried that that he wasn't going to be a buffoon and he'd be like the gruff 80s action hero, which usually in this situation means he's like low-key racist and like belittles the Asian people around him.
And he was,
He's
but he's
like
such a
low-key
dummy.
misogynist.
Oh,
we
yes.
got that going.
But he's
Yeah.
not like he's more just like frustrated with what's happening and he's confused. He doesn't seem to be like explicitly, like, he clearly likes these people. Like, he's like good friends with Wang. He like gambles with him every time he comes to California or to San Francisco.
He finds himself in a mystical, inexplicable situation,
Yeah.
constantly just demanding the Cliff's Notes.
Right.
Like, okay, all right, I hear you on all this exposition, but like, we can beat them up, right?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
But I just feel like, what I'm saying is like, I feel like if it were a different movie written by different people, he would be like, okay, go watch whichever Lethal Weapon it is that involves the Chinese gang. And that's what I was worried it was going to be, where Mel Gibson character is just like ridiculously racist to every Chinese person that they encounter.
Yikes.
That's what I was worried this was going to be.
Yeah. There's like the moment I think that encapsulated well for me was like everybody, they've like just gotten back to the restaurant or whatever and are regrouping. And like Egg Shen shows up with a bunch of the good gang.
Yeah.
And Jack Burton goes over and is like, hey, what's going on? Does this guy speak English? And the guy comes back to him in perfect English. It's like, who's
And with
this
no
guy?
accent.
Yeah.
Zero accent.
Who's this guy?
Yeah, he's just like,
Yeah.
hey.
It's like obviously like everybody else knows what's going on.
And like
it's their
knows each
story.
other. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they're all up to speed and it's like they're doing fine. They
Yeah.
don't need him at all.
Yeah. It is. Yeah. It is just like like from that first scene with the truck in the alley, it is just sort of like he gets pulled into this movie, but the rest of the movie is still happening even when he's not around.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
just every once in a while it intersects with him.
Yeah.
Because there's like this whole other movie where like Egg Shen and the good gang are like planning this out and like strategizing how to get down to Lo Pan's underground chamber or whatever.
yeah, and I mean,
Amazing.
even Kim Cattrall like is more at home. Her character is more at home. She's like, I live here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting, right?
I love it.
It's got lots of things going on.
It sure does.
And one of those things are insane Muppets.
Yes.
We have like a Beholder-esque like watcher thing that's just like a floating fleshy orb with a bunch of eyeballs on it.
And eyes in the mouth.
And eyes in the mouth that can like transmit Lopan.
Yeah, and the way that you know that he can do that is because Egg Shen, one, explicitly explained it, but then it immediately cuts to Lopan holding two fingers to his head with his eyes closed and describe what he's seeing.
Yeah.
But it sounds so catty the way he does it. It's like, oh, really? He's here?
James
He's
Hahn
almost like, what is he wearing?
So good in this movie. He's such a little stinker in the whole movie.
Yeah, most of the time he's like, ancient demon emperor from another time, and then every once in a while he says something that's like very modern. He's like, "Oh, you people are pissing me off."
Yeah.
It's just so funny to see him in both sort of like flipped on its head a little bit.
Yeah.
Like he's
Great.
still a grumpy old man.
Yeah, and he's like living in the modern world.
Yeah.
So like,
That so that floaty eye thing, which was also weirdly kind of cute and charming, in addition to being kind of creepy.
It had kind of like a cute face while being disgusting.
Yeah, it was kind of like our weird Chewbacca wedding crasher,
right.
Yeah.
in that way. But it was powered by several puppeteers and dozens of cables to control its facial expressions.
Nice.
Wow.
And they had
That's
to
amazing.
create a special system.
It's
just
super
to
cool.
even
It
shoot
looks great.
Yeah.
I was wondering about that because John Carpenter's so well known for like practical effects, right? So I was like, is that because it almost looks computer generated, doesn't it? But it was too early for that, maybe.
Yeah.
To look that good.
Yeah, the same special effects studio that did Ghostbusters did this one.
Well, there you go.
Slimer.
So they probably had to like, just do the Slimer moves again.
Yeah. But apparently they only had $2 million, which I guess didn't go very far.
For the whole movie?
Oh, no, $2 million for the special effects.
Oh, okay. I was going to say.
About $25 million total.
Gotcha.
But they also rushed production because they wanted to get it out before Golden Child,
Okay.
starring Eddie Murphy.
And apparently Egg Shen. He was in The Golden Child, too.
Oh.
Wow.
Here's what I've learned. He is the super dope barber / convenience store owner in Tremors that names them graboids.
Wow.
That guy rocks. Go watch Tremors.
Yeah. Maybe we will someday.
Or don't and wait for us to do it. Don't watch Tremors. We'll tell you when to watch Tremors.
Sit down. Don't go to the video store.
What video store?
Where would
Everybody
they go?
was jumping up to run to Hollywood Video.
To go rent a VHS.
Or the VHS of
Throw in their
Tremors.
VCR.
Do you think that movie took us back to 1986? What's happening?
I'm 4 years old.
Oh.
Any other Muppets? It was mostly just Flesh
there's-
Eyeball and...
There's one.
There's that weird spider thing.
There's a giant sewer monster
It just
that
comes out of nowhere.
There, I mean, we jumped several times and screamed. This movie. But that one was especially startling because it was unexpected.
And
I felt so bad because it came out of nowhere, right? Because you're surrounded by pipes the whole time.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, there's not only this giant ant monster, but it gets one of the good guys in its mouth and is already receding before Egg throws a magic ball at it or whatever.
Yeah.
And part of me is like, you couldn't foresee this ant coming out and killing this guy?
I mean, he didn't know where it was.
Oh, so
What
sad.
I loved about that, speaking of this just constant exposition.
Also, this ant was a big fan of weddings, okay? It
Clearly,
was just
yeah.
poking out to be like, hey, have you guys heard anything?
started yet?
Are they getting... I thought I heard Paco Bell Cannon. Are they doing the processional?
Yeah, but then instant kicked in and it ate a guy.
Yeah.
I was just hungry.
Yeah, you can't blame
We're
him. The
waiting all
reception
day.
hasn't started yet.
Yeah.
What I loved about that was just like
They have teeny tiny hors d'oeuvres. What is this for ants?
yeah. I'm the wrong kind of ant.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It's fine. You can go for 7 more minutes.
The ant's gonna hang out with the Hunkle.
Yeah. And Kurt Russell is quite the Hunkle.
Oh, boy.
He's more jacked than I expected.
Yes, I agree.
And his jacket just keeps coming off,
Yeah.
and he is in
Oh
a
no,
white
his
tank.
jacket came off
And they
in this
keep-
tunnel.
Yeah, and they keep the way they navigate through Lopan's headquarters. They keep finding different ways for him to demonstrate his upper body strength, and I love it.
Yeah.
It's like, let me climb this ladder. Let me sidle across that walkway.
He
or whatever.
shimmies across a bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of the few things that he's actually good at. He's better at that than shooting
Yes.
or banter.
You know what I thought during this movie? Guns are really boring.
Oh,
Did you feel that way?
I thought you
don't
meant
know.
arm guns, and I was going to be
Yeah,
like,
Oh, no.
excuse me.
Those guns are very interesting. But I just felt like anytime there were guns, I was like, go back to the part where you're like flipping around and like doing hand-to-hand stuff. So much
like
more fun to watch.
The women guards at the women prison.
Yeah.
It's a lot, this movie. But they had
Smoke pipes.
smoke
so
pipes.
Yeah.
That ruled.
That was
and
unexpected.
Were formidable until suddenly they weren't. That was
They
kind
were
of
pretty
weird.
formidable. Like the first two got taken down pretty quick, but the last two, like they kept Wang and his buddy busy for a while.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
So
His buddy is wearing an amazing plaid jacket.
that dude's
Also-
outfits were so good.
Can I just say, too, it's unclear to me. So all the other women that were imprisoned,
Yes.
and we don't know all the backstory, but I assume there's some human trafficking elements.
Yes.
And they've brought Kim Cattrall's character. This is before she was getting wedded. You know, it's a long story. But anyway, Kim Cattrall and the reporter both end up in this prison.
Oh, right.
And Kim Cattrall is literally hogtied.
Yeah.
But the journalist is like splayed out on her bed, like writing in her
With her little
journal.
notepad, yeah.
Dear
Like,
diary.
But like writing her article longhand.
Yeah.
And nobody else is tied up.
Nobody else is
No.
tied up like that. And then
She
poor
must
Kim
have been
Cattrall
making
gets
trouble.
chained up.
Big trouble.
Yeah.
Oh, I get it.
And they, in their underground time, they navigate many different hells. There's like some line about how China has many hells.
Yes.
And Luke asked us to pick our favorite.
Okay.
I don't remember many of them other than the upside down corpses underwater.
No, that is my
Freaked
least
me
favorite
out.
one.
Yeah.
That was rough.
I mean, something was revealed about me during
Yes.
this movie, which is I hate, like, I have extreme water claustrophobia.
Yeah.
So anytime it's like underwater, there's a bunch of underwater tunnels. I'm like, no way.
There was a point where they released everyone from the trafficking holding pen or whatever,
yeah.
and they all get to like this, I don't know, seawater outlet or something.
Yeah.
They dive in. Okay, already
Mixed skill in diving. The first one goes in beautiful, perfect dive.
Kim Cattrall
just falls with her hands forward.
Yeah, Kim Cattrall basically face plants after shoving Kurt Russell back into the water. But what we learned then is like at first they just dive in the water. Okay, whatever. Yes, that would be very uncomfortable to have to swim through whatever. But then we learned the way they swim out of that chamber, and what Beth learned to her horror is they all have to go through a not much larger than a human body pipe, like in a straight line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although there
Stuff
was
of nightmares.
a very great moment of comedy with Kim Cattrall's character. Oh, so they get to a pipe where they can pop their heads up above
Yes.
and get some air. How that works physically, we're not totally clear on. It doesn't matter. Point
It was
is,
like probably
Kim
there was a
Cattrall
slight
like keeps
elevation.
like pulling people up,
Yeah.
and they're never the person she's looking for. And no
Yes.
matter who she asks about, the person says they don't know, and then that person is next.
Yeah.
It was a very
great.
goofy. It was pretty fun.
She's looking for Jack so she can give him a smooch.
Oh,
Yeah.
there's a lot of kiss drops.
And they
Well, she didn't want to give him a smooch then because he smooched her, and she goes, "Hey."
And he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just so happy to be alive. I don't
Yeah.
have emotions."
Yeah.
then they do smooch later,
Ooh.
and she gets a lot of wedding makeup lipstick on his lips, and he spends like the next 5 minutes
I have a
trying to be a
question.
badass
I have
with
a-
a ton of lipstick.
Yeah.
So good. And
And
he's like
it's in his
monologuing.
teeth. It's amazing.
He's monologuing. Here's what I want to know. All we know about these elevators is that they are going down, they're going up.
Yeah.
We don't know how far down or how far up.
Are they going to Hells?
It seems like it.
Okay.
They smooch in the elevator.
Yeah.
Kim
Love it.
Cattrall says, "Is this happening? Did they bang in that elevator?"
Oh,
We don't know how long it I'm just saying, we don't know how far down they were, right?
All the way down.
Ooh,
Oh.
Like which base of hell?
maybe. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I don't think they did.
I also don't think so. Either.
I think there'd be
Fine.
more
I
wanna
lipstick in
believe.
other places.
Oh, bad. But yes, you're right. You're
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
I just wanted to propose the idea because it could have been a slow elevator. That's
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
And the fact she says, "Is this happening now?" It's like, I mean, it's already happened if that's all you're talking about.
And yeah. Okay, I'm going to say maybe they did. Yes. Not that it
Yes.
makes
Wow.
any sense to the story, but
Yeah,
not
but
very
what
much
does, right?
Yeah, because those elevator rides, honestly, sometimes I was like, this seems like a lot of time for them to chat.
I mean, the first elevator, like
Mm-hmm.
when they go in there were, I feel like, at least like 8 buttons, and Wang presses the lowest one. So, like, they are pretty far down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll say to that, it seems odd to me. So they have this very strong flirtation.
Yes.
They save each other's lives a couple of times, probably. And then at the end, there's one couple that does get together, the reporter and a friend.
Oh, baby. She is like down to flock at the end.
Big time.
He's like, oh, what are you going to call your store? And she's like, oh, why don't you come over later and you can help me?
Write the title.
Yes. So it's pretty clear where they were headed.
This is Plaid Jacket, by the way.
Yeah.
Is the friend.
And then, meanwhile, there's Kim Cattrall's character with...
Go ahead. Jack Skellington.
Jack.
Snowboards.
Burton. Jack Burton and Gracie Law, and she's all like there, and I'm like, they're at least gonna hook up, right? But he's all, no, I gotta go get in my truck. Yeah. And I just was like, I just feel like I understand you got to get back on the road or whatever, but and it's been a big day, but like, I just don't see him walking away from that opportunity unless back in the elevator, the two of them already consummated their relationship. And then it was like, it's not really going anywhere here.
Interesting.
We're not going to have anything more intense than that experience.
Right. We know what
life or
everyone's got
death,
to offer. Yeah.
literal hell. And what? We're going to like just have a bottle of Chianti and watch a movie?
I'm back. They banged in the elevator.
Yeah.
I'm with Molly.
I mean, that could be true too if it was just like not a good kiss in the elevator. He's like, there's no chemistry. Because we did bet in the first half I bet in the first half that it would end with them kissing. And it very much does not end with them kissing.
Yeah.
There's like a whole buildup, like, aren't you even going to kiss her? And he goes, no. And then he leaves.
Yeah.
Great.
So I failed big time on that bet.
Well, and he literally has like a saddlebag.
Yes.
Like all of a sudden he's got a saddlebag.
Yeah. Just another holdover Western element.
Yeah, I guess.
I
The
think
road
so.
cowboy.
Yeah.
Is he coming next time he comes back through town? Is he looking her up?
I don't think so.
I don't know.
He sort of justifies it with like everybody hates him eventually.
Yeah,
There's
rub people the wrong way.
implications he's been married multiple times.
Yeah. It's kind of sad.
That's kind of fatalist.
Yeah.
But her dreams for them are pretty limited. I mean, she hasn't had a lot of time to put them together, but being like, maybe we put a little apartment on the back of your truck. I'm like, you are a lawyer.
Yeah.
Okay? You are tracking down human traffickers.
Yeah, you're a hero.
You're a hero. You have literally defeated an evil, otherworldly monster. Like, I don't know that hitching your wagon to this truck driver is really saying a lot about you either. I guess it was just sort of flirty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But then, even then, she's like, see you around. And he's like, yeah, really?
Maybe.
He just basically belches and scratches himself.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, really? We got to, like, not give this lawyer any dignity?
His only love is the open road.
Yep.
And gambling all night.
Yeah.
Do you know how sleep deprived that they must all be?
Right?
Because he and Wang played poker not poker, but they gambled all night. And then they fight the forces of evil for, it seems like a solid day.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
And then he gets back on the road.
Oof.
Not a good
He's
idea.
gonna kill someone.
He's probably got amphetamines in there.
Also, P.S., is anybody on that CB radio?
No.
He's basically running his own like stream of conscious talk show.
Yeah.
Nobody
Yeah. It's a
responds
podcast.
back to him. Oh no!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
He had the original podcast.
Yeah. Yeah. Like if the camera, instead of panning back to the back of the truck to see melted Chewbacca's hitching a ride, if they had panned through the cab and down, you'd see that radio isn't even plugged in. He honestly though, he does, like the way he talks on that CB radio, like he is like a precursor to like dudes in wraparound sunglasses on YouTube in their trucks.
Oh, big time.
right?
Yeah.
We're just like, let me tell you what old Jack Burton thinks about life.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like,
what the hell?
now
Oh,
that you
yeah.
say that's like oddly.
That was great. Is like that was part of it though. The part of the fun of it is that like he is, like he's such a shitty action hero. Because at one point he's just like, what old Jack Burton says. What the hell? It's like, that's it? That's your line?
No, I was like, I thought Jack Burton would say something cooler than
Oh,
that.
it was great.
Yeah. Yeah. It also made me laugh when they're sitting in the fight in the truck that breaks out. And he's like getting ready to join in the fight.
Yeah, he
He's
pulls out his little knife.
He's got his knife. Yeah. And he just
That was very
holds
funny.
it tightly for like, you just keep cutting back to him.
Yeah.
It's really
yeah.
well done pacing.
And
on
then
that
to
Totes.
Beth's point about guns being boring, like Egg Shen even like gives him shit. Where like when they're all kidding themselves out for the fight, he hands him like this enormous revolver. It's like, here, you can feel like Dirty Harry. Yeah. And then he just got like his bag of marbles or whatever the fuck.
So an interesting thing about the music, because we were talking earlier about how this felt.
Yeah.
John Carpenter was nominated for a Saturn Award.
Nice.
Heard of it? I have
Yes.
no.
Yeah.
Okay. For best music in this film with the soundtrack, Carpenter wanted to avoid the usual cliches. As we found, other scores for American movies about Chinese characters are basically rinky-tink, chop suey music. I didn't want that for Big Trouble.
Yeah.
I love the music.
Good job, Johnny.
It was a joy.
It was aggressive synthesizer.
He loves synthesizers.
Oh my gosh. I felt like I was watching Driver.
Yeah.
Driver?
It's a more modern movie, but it has that whole same synthesizer music.
You talking about Drive?
Yeah. You know your source. How could you even question? Of course, I mean Drive.
Right.
Anyway, it felt like that.
Yeah. It
Or
was
like a video game sometimes.
It definitely felt like a video game.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he loves video games.
There was a lot,
historically.
like, it felt very much like Mortal Kombat to me in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Specifically the Raiden.
Yeah. The Three Storms.
The Three Storms,
Mm-hmm.
yes. The guy
Which
who
we
had
should talk about.
electricity in his
I
eyes.
mean, there's no question the dudes who created Mortal Kombat probably loved this fucking movie when they were younger.
Do you think it came...
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat probably came out in the 80s.
No.
No?
No way.
Wait, I thought the video game was forever, right? It was in the 80s.
I don't think so.
I'm going to say 92.
Yeah, it's got to be early 90s, right?
I mean,
Street
I played
Fighter
it
was
on
before that. And that might have been
Sega.
89.
Me too.
Yeah.
Sega
When did the
Genesis.
Sega come out? When did the arcade come out, then? That's when it... This is great
70s.
podcasting.
So like
Yeah,
the
I love
Pong
really
came
looking.
out first,
Sure.
and then Pac-Man.
Yeah. And then Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat.
But yeah, the Three Storms are all great. Our favorite one was the most jacked one.
Thunder.
Thunder,
Yes.
yes. Who lived and died by the intensity of his eyes.
And the like intensity of his just like straining his Jack's body, apparently.
Yeah. Oh, shit. And then
Remember when he like launches Jack off his back just by flexing?
He just like inflates and launches Jack back, which is just a precursor to how he kills himself.
I think he was destroying himself to destroy the temple to
Okay.
trap them all.
He inflates and it looks like
It's
the
bananas.
Total Recall head.
Yes.
The
Yeah.
head comes apart.
It
It
does,
had that vibe. And then he pops like a balloon.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's
But, like,
green
his
on the
feet
inside.
inflate and
Yeah.
pop out of his shoes.
so
It was
gross.
not what I was expecting. Because the first time when he's just like, "Huh," and you just like they have like they do quick shots of his like very nice suit starting to tear.
Yeah.
You think he's just like, I don't know, he's almost like Bane, where he's just like
Yeah, just
jacking up his
flexing,
muscles
yeah.
more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But apparently, he was just inflating himself enough to fling Jack into a wheelchair, which he then flew down a giant ramp and then got caught right before falling down a giant well, and then through the power of his own incredible upper body strength, wheeled himself up to an upright position and then panic jumped out of the wheelchair so that the wheelchair flew back into the well.
Yeah, he just screams jumping
feel-
out of there. Like,
At that point, I was like, if you can roll yourself up to there, you can roll yourself
Like
a
a
foot
couple more
forward
feet,
so
yeah.
you don't have to be afraid of falling backwards.
just stand up.
He's such a
Do
doofus.
things the best way. He does them the Jack way.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Also, I am so angry. Mortal Kombat came out in 1992.
Boom.
Oh,
So mad.
fatality.
Yeah.
That's true.
But also friendship.
Oh,
Hey.
They had those too.
low kick.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, there were so many round kicks.
So many.
There were an incredible amount of round kicks.
Yeah. There was a round kick. There was a fan kick at.
Hell yeah.
Okay, there's a lot of like
There was also a fan.
a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Deflected lightning with a fan.
That was awesome.
It was very surprising and never came back again. But my favorite part about this movie is most of it is like those three storm guys just like kind of doing stuff before they're going to fight. I don't know. There's always like a little dance
lot of
that
prep
they
work,
do,
yeah.
like a choreography to be like, here's kind of what my moves are. But one of the guys does a fan kick, not wings.
What?
Wings.
Right.
Those are the tap moves.
Oh, that's the one we were talking about where you do like that. Cha-cha,
Yeah,
cha-cha.
wing kick. Nope, it's not wing kick. It just
It's
is
just wings?
Just wings.
Huh.
That's what I don't know.
You do wings?
Like that's what your instructor
Wings,
would say?
wings.
Like wings.
Wing arms. Not wing arms?
No, it's
5,
wings.
6, 7, 8
Wings.
wings.
Wings is a whole thing.
Uh-huh.
It's arms and feet.
Oh, wings is the whole
Move.
It's
the
the
whole
move.
package.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it makes sense. They look like wings.
They do. I just remembered that the first time the Storm Boys show up, they all pull out like absurd martial weapons.
Yeah.
Like one guy who has like what appears to be just like two like little baby skeleton hands made of steel.
Yeah. Or like
yeah.
And then the last guy pulls out like two double-sided blades, then just starts spinning like propellers on his hands.
That's right.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, it's like you interviewed like an 11-year-old
Yes.
about like would be a cool fight.
Like,
okay,
who are the characters?
middle hands come out.
Yeah.
They start spinning.
Okay, these three guys come. They have huge hats. They've got spinning blades on their hands. Yeah, this.
And they have lightning powers.
Yeah, of course.
Then there's a ghost
Out of
who
their
runs into
eyes.
his car.
Yeah, it ruled.
Oh, lots of fingernail action in this movie too.
Those
Yeah.
long fingernails.
Mm-hmm.
And then Lopan does stab his two brides with his love needle.
Oh, that was
Yikes.
hard. Does he stab both of them?
Needle of love, he says.
He says the needle of it. What I love though is like
is a metaphor.
What I love about it definitely is
Well, at
there's.
first it's like flesh needle or something
Oh.
like that, right?
Oh.
That's what I thought he said.
I mean, I think he said, "I will become flesh through the needle of
Or a
love," or
knife,
something like that.
knife of flesh.
What are you talking about?
That's what he said.
When?
Oh, there's a knife too.
When there's a part where
they have to
go to
hug
his
the naked
office.
flame blade or whatever the
You
fuck.
have to-
Oh, that's what it is. The naked blade. Yeah.
Naked blade, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Of fire or something.
Which, okay, back to the Three Thunders and they have to have the burning blade or whatever.
That
There's like a
ceremony
whole-
was nuts.
Yeah, Thunder does his whole like kata moves.
Yep.
Which seems to have no purpose.
He just gently places his weapons below the feet of the two women.
yeah, because the other two like prepare the blades and then like elevate the women in the air to prove that they don't get their hands cut
Or
off
worthy
or something.
It's very
Yeah.
confusing.
Well, and then they have to each awkwardly reach with like two fingers and touch like an orb.
Yeah. Which apparently
It's kind of it's kind of like they have to grab these long things and then touch this ball.
oh sure.
It feels like
no,
very
I see what you're saying.
we're
yeah.
preparing, get them prepared
For the wedding.
He did
wedding.
say get them prepared
Yeah,
for the
he did.
wedding.
Yeah.
He did.
And yeah. We were
That-
joking that maybe that was like emotional or legal. It turns out they put on dresses.
Yeah, and a lot of makeup.
Oh, yeah.
So much make and they got white eyes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
which
Yeah. Supplied by
supplied by one of my favorite credits, which is
Credits Heroes.
Credits Heroes.
Yes.
Contacts by, which
Okay.
I've never seen in
No.
a movie. It's possible that we've seen a movie that says
Wait,
that.
is it contact guy or contact
Contacts
spy?
by.
Contacts by
Oh.
Like he created these for them.
Wow.
Dr.
Morton
Morton Green something.
Greenspoon.
Green Spoon.
And they hired him because Green Eyes was so important to the film.
Oh my gosh. They just were like, oh, they didn't have Google. I was going to say they probably typed in green eyes.
Pull up the
Doctor.
Yellow Pages.
I mean,
Yeah.
that might have been
Oh.
they like, yeah, they opened up the phone, but they're like, okay, we need a guy who can make green contacts for us. Oh shit, it's in the name.
Dr. Greenspoon.
Green
John,
Spoon.
we found him. Green Spoon.
Oh, Dr.
There's no
Green
way he can't do green contacts.
I've heard before that those big contacts that cover their whole eye,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
because when you wear contacts, it's like mostly around your iris.
Yeah.
But yeah, when it covers your whole eye, it's very
Oh, it
uncomfortable.
has to be,
That
right?
sounds really
Yeah.
rough.
So there's
I don't
one
think I'd
point
try
where
that.
like both of the women are wearing white contacts, like their whole eye looks white. It's very creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Green Spoon.
What was the song at the end credits that was so good?
Oh, big trouble.
You little China.
That
Written
ruled.
by
Written by John Carpenter.
John Carpenter.
Performed by the Coupe de Villes.
Oh,
Wow.
Hell yes. I loved it. Couldn't have asked for a better ending credits.
Okay, one more thing I want to say before we get to
Please.
the next part. They all drink a magic potion before the final battle.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Which, yeah, Eggshen's carrying around in a gourd the whole time, and I honestly didn't understand the explanation of it, other than it's going to help him defeat it. But he just explains it as a good buzz, and then they have a great scene in the elevator where they're all like,
I feel great. Yeah.
like, I'm not scared at all.
Yeah. I
And they're
feel
all just,
kind of
like, high as
invincible.
shit. Like, it was, yeah, it really made me laugh.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because he said it's like, oh, it'll let you see things others can't see. So it does sort of seem like, oh, he probably just drugged them so they wouldn't freak the fuck out when a crazy ghost wizard started shooting lightning at them.
But it never like is illustrated that it pays off. Like there's never a moment where like Jack punches someone and they fly and he like looks at his hands like, wow, I have power. It's like
the closest we get is when he's in the elevator. He's like horny, like because he's like I can see things none others can see while he's like checking her out in her marriage.
That's
dress.
right. Yeah.
So it might have just made him just very euphoric and horned up.
It's just like THC beverage.
Probably.
All right. Well, before we get to our final reviews of the movie we just watched, Big Trouble in Little China. We ask on Discord for questions and comments, Q's and C's,
of course,
from our fans to engage with them.
We're engaging with we're engaging with the fans.
Yep.
Yes.
Even if they don't have green eyes, we'll still engage with them.
We don't care.
Yeah. Also, there are a lot of people with green eyes.
Yeah,
right?
but this curse was like from 1,000 years ago, so they'd probably only seen like 8 women in their entire life, right?
Oh, okay. That's well.
And they
this
also
movie,
have to like handle the burning blade.
Oh, right.
It's like a 2-part deal.
Because they did have that thing where Kurt
Burton.
Curtin. Old Curtin was like, oh, you've probably seen a million broads since you've been alive for so long. And he's like, sure. Like, he admitted it. He's just like, oh, yeah, there have been other girls.
Yeah. They couldn't handle my burning blade.
That's right. But also, he was just like a melted candle in a wheelchair at that point.
Oh, his
that
old
makeup
man
is so gross.
So cool. So cool.
Ugh.
He looks, yeah, it's great. Anyway, my last name's a palindrome. Says, I love this movie so much because Jack Burton isn't the hero. He's an imbecile that forces his way into the plot.
Hell yeah.
Agree. That's what we talk about all the time. Yeah, it's great. And then also, my last name's a palindrome goes on to say, also, local legend James Hong is having so much fun as Lopan. He's always great.
He is always great.
Agree. Yeah. James Hong.
Hard agree.
Who left here when he was like probably 16 years old or something.
Oh, I mean, that's how we claim most people from Minnesota. It's like, they were here for a while.
They were born here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Or Lizzo was here for a while.
Yes.
That's true.
And we
first
taken
album
credit.
came from here.
Yeah.
Came from here, basically. So.
One time I saw Lizzo in Uptown.
Wow.
I was like, that woman looks so confident. And then I was like, and then she walked past my car and I was like, oh, because it's Lizzo.
Nice. At least Hartnett still owns a house here.
Did he?
Yeah.
He sold the one that was by Lake of the Isles.
Well, never mind then.
Oh, Josh.
My cousins went to high school with him and Rachel Lee Cook.
Is she from here too?
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
They went to the same high school.
Wow.
It's the same one as the Coen brothers?
No, that's the high school I went to.
Ooh, you guys were definitely there at the same time.
Yep. Me and the Coen brothers and Al Franken were
That's right.
at school at the same time.
Cutting it up.
Just hanging out together.
Yep.
Wow. Thank you, my last name's Palindrome.
Yeah.
Agree on all
Hard
points.
agree. Is that it?
That's it.
All right. Great engagement.
Quick ones.
What?
Also, I feel pretty bad I didn't let y'all sing the Wikipedia song. And I tried something different tonight where I actually read from Wikipedia.
Yeah.
I was workshopping it. I didn't love it. But that was a source.
Oh, on Pod.
On Pod.
Wikipedia.
It's
Wikipedia. In the chat.
I don't.
You're not feeling
Wikipedia.
it.
I'm not.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's not flowing.
We only recorded so many, Molly.
I mean-
like we gotta use them when they're right, when the feeling's right.
I wanted to push the button earlier.
And you shut her down.
Yeah.
So I agree with Beth.
Yeah. Me too.
Yeah.
I stand
yeah,
for
I
Beth.
agree with that too.
After
Yeah.
you silenced her voice earlier. in the episode. Wow.
The real
Molly.
low pan over here.
Listen to me now.
Yeah.
I'm here on this podcast.
That's right.
In front of a microphone.
Yeah. Wow, Lizzo really had an effect on you.
I really have the confidence of Lizzo.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay. Well, our rating scale, as we all remember, are Kiss Drops,
Of course.
which are a confectionery of it's assorted chocolates.
Yes, it's a variety pack,
Assorted
you could
candies.
say.
Some are chocolates. Some are gumdrops, and some are chocolate-covered gumdrops. And I think I thought it was a mystery which is which, but I just tried to shove that in there, and there's no way that could be true if some are just gumdrops.
Right.
Like,
You can tell.
you can tell which ones are those.
Unless they like try really hard to color them and texture them in a way to look like chocolate.
Yeah.
Seems like a lot of
That
work.
seems like a lot
Which
of
they
work.
can.
Yeah.
My kid's been watching a lot of these streaming DVD service reality shows that are
What
just like,
the fuck are you
is that
talking
really
about?
a cake?
Oh.
Is it cake? And then there's also like cake engineering, cake baking impossible it's called, where
Okay.
they're what do they call them? Baconeers?
What?
Baking engineers. There's like a
Amazing.
team of an engineer and a baker, and they have to make things out of cake.
It is so
To, like,
sad
do
when
things?
people make stuff out of cake.
Because you want to eat it?
No, because
looks
I don't
so
want to
good, though.
eat it at all.
You don't want
Like
to
when
eat
they're
it.
like, well, half of this is Rice Krispie treat, but we're going to call it cereal treat. And then we've manipulated and mushed up this cake into be this shape, and we put a ton of icing and fondant on it.
It's all fondant. Yeah.
And then like it's torched it on fire, and then we're going to serve it. And I'm like, yeah, it looks like a working crane, but I don't want to eat it.
Sure.
I would please just bake something in a pan and put just one layer of icing on it, like a little, little sheet pan.
I mean, they probably have that in the back.
What do they call that? That cake you
Sheet
just
cake?
put? No, yeah, sheet cake.
You want like a sheet cake show? Or it's like, I got this from Costco.
This is just confetti cake
It's
with
just
funfetti frosting.
like they don't even decorate it or anything. Like they don't like write anything on it.
Here's mine from Cub Foods. I picked it up on the way over.
I chose Duncan Hines today, and
Cub is a pretty good cake.
They got a pretty good cake.
Yeah.
So does Costco.
hey,
Costco's a good cake
It's a
too.
good sheet cake.
They have like a layer.
hey,
Oh, sorry.
no free pub.
Oh yeah, sponsor us.
Price Club.
Oh my gosh, can we get a cake sponsor?
Yes,
That'd be very
Wow.
Very good.
Please send us cake, and
Yeah.
we'll talk about it on pod.
That's right. Sheet cake. Where's sheet cake?
But
Open.
make sure it doesn't look cool.
Yeah,
Plain sheet
Yeah.
cake.
Yeah.
unfrosted.
You can put frosting on there. Just don't write anything. And don't do any piping around the edge.
Oh, okay, I see. So just one layer that's cake, one layer that's icing, and that's it.
Yeah. And I don't like when they put like a rose on there or whatever. Like when they do a frosting rose.
You just
much.
want
I don't
smooth,
want
like just
a
a
smooth,
smooth
yeah.
layer of
Yes,
frosting.
that's the right ratio.
Keep it smooth.
When I was a kid, I always opted for the rose, and then at a certain
It's
point,
too
I knew
much.
as an adult where I was like, "Oh no, that looks
No,
terrible."
not me. I'm still like, give me the corner with all the like crazy curly cues of extra frosting.
Me too.
Really?
Frosting fiend.
I take a cupcake and I slice 2/3 of the frosting off, and that's how I want my cupcake to
Wow.
Wow.
Wait, what cupcakes are you getting?
Me the
That
frosting.
be. Okay. I'll start saving it in a Ziploc bag for you.
yes, and then give it to me in bed.
Just show up your bags of frosting.
Don't even show up. Just throw it at the door, and we'll know. Oh, the frosting man came.
Frosting day.
Frosty the Frosting Man.
I love it. So
That's
these
our
are
rating scale.
Okay, yeah.
Crystal clear.
yeah.
Dan,
I already forgot what they're called.
kiss drops.
Thank you.
Yeah. And then the ad campaign has a lot of kissing.
Kiss and dips.
Kiss and dips.
Yeah.
Which is not a drop.
No.
You don't want to drop.
You don't want to drop. You
Don't
want to
drop.
kiss drop.
Kiss drop.
Kiss drop.
Yeah, that's good.
Is it
Like, yeah, they're in there. Someone's trying to do the
So
dip
it's like
kiss.
gumdrop.
But then they drop it, and then someone pops out. Is like, "Don't drop, kiss
Kiss
drop.
drop.
And then there's the kiss drops, and they eat it, and then all is forgiven.
And then they bang.
That's the
Oh,
mental set, and then they,
Whoa, what?
and like hardcore banging on
But
TV.
like, there's at least one
Full
where
penetration.
Like, what?
There is going to be an angry mother's writing
Hey,
campaign.
there's no such thing as bad publicity.
Exactly.
I
Kiss
mean,
drops.
Right, Molly?
I didn't know that this was like such a
Yeah, Molly. This
R-rated
is very
rating.
lascivious.
I was going to interject with some goofy little idea, but by then it had gone full, like, just steamy.
Yeah, kiss drops.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Chocolate
Okay.
covered gumdrop. Forget about it.
Wow.
Dan, you gave it
Yes.
4. Saying it really seemed like a kind of movie you would love, but you were worried about its problematic parts,
That
potentials.
is correct. It was the kind of movie I would love because I loved it. It was, yeah, like it was so, like I'm too dumb to know which parts of like the design choices are still offensive to Chinese people. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because like it was definitely like a weird balance. Where like sometimes they're just in Chinatown, and then other times they're in like a weird spooky dungeon with 1,000 Buddha statues and a neon skull. So like I'm sure some of it is just like, okay, guys. But for a dumb white dude, I was so delighted that Kurt Russell was a dumb white dude who was just like too dumb to even really be that racist, right? Like he was mostly just frustrated that he was like,
He was like, I'm confused.
yeah, like he was more just confused, and he didn't really take it out on them. And when he did, it was more just like, Just tell me what's going on, please. I'm so scared.
Yeah, and he was never like, I know better than you. That was
Yeah.
never the attitude.
Right.
Yeah.
He like had ideas, but it was never in opposition.
Yeah.
because he thought he was better.
Yeah. Loved it.
Yeah,
Jack Burton.
Jack Burton.
Jack Bauer. Curtain Man.
Yeah.
Anyway, I loved it. 5 kiss drops.
Whoa.
Wow.
I had a great time.
That's
It
amazing.
was a joy.
Believe
It's a top 80s movie.
Wow.
No question.
Wow. Beth, you felt similarly, but you were afraid of it, and you took your truck to Coward Town.
Yep.
Mathematically accurate Coward Town.
The middle of our rating
Yes.
scale, 2.5.
Yeah, it was not as problematic as I thought, and like Dan said, I don't know exactly what's problematic because I'm a dumb person.
Yeah. Like if
But
someone told us like point for point what they would be like, okay.
I
And-
do remember I took a class in
Ooh.
college.
Wow,
I know.
Brag.
It's called People of Color in the Media.
Huh.
And at one point we went through stereotypes in movies of Asian people.
Did they just show this entire movie?
And it covered a lot of the bases.
Okay.
So like it's certainly not perfect, but it was 1986 and not as horrible as it could have been.
Right.
And like you said, like Kurt Russell's character is not trying to be the boss, and he's an idiot. So I don't know. Anyway, it was also ridiculous and fun, and there were Muppets.
Yes.
So 3.5.
All right.
Oh.
Is half a kiss drop just one candy or the whole box?
Took a bite,
Oh, yikes.
fell in love.
Wait, you took a bite and
Oh.
fell off, so you left half of it? Oh, you fell off, so you're too busy banging to eat anymore.
Yeah,
Well, I mean,
you're gonna
that's
save the other half
steamy.
for your lover.
Oh, nice.
Maybe. I
That's
don't know.
sweet.
Listen, you just got distracted doing other things.
Yeah, you did.
Oh boy.
Is this happening? Yes, it is.
Taking the
Slow
love
elevator to Love Town.
with your love needle.
Ew.
I gave it 4, and my only note says Hunkle.
Did it succeed at Hunkle?
Yeah, he's great. That hair is just, it's like, seems like it should be flowing, but it's also perfectly still.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, I feel the same as Dan and Beth. It was really fun. Maybe it has problems, but definitely much less than I was worried about. And it's like, it is trying to be shitty in that way.
Right.
So there's a world where it doesn't succeed because people look at it and go like, ha ha ha, Chinese people.
Yeah.
They're so weird and dumb. But I don't think, I mean, that's not what John Carpenter's doing, especially like from Molly's fact of like his quote about all music for these types of movies is like shitty chop suey music. Like he recognizes
Yeah.
the stereotypes are there and actively is against it. So, good job. I'm going up to 4.5.
Yeah,
I had a
boy.
great time. It's so fun. Yeah. Molly, you were last but not least.
Oh, thank you.
And you gave it, you had a real journey as you always do. You also wrote Hunk and I wrote Hunk. You said Hunk. Respect. That's right. You respected our executive producer, Luke. That 3.5.
Yeah. Wow. Got there. As is often my pattern and my right, I'm going to circle back to something I forgot to say earlier.
Please.
Which is that Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn are happily together.
Yes. Love wins.
They have never gotten married.
How much dank fumes are they?
You know,
inhaling?
I forgot to search like what their like recreational drug use
You didn't just talk into your
situation
phone,
was.
Kurt Russell, Goldie Hawn, dank fumes, and see what happens.
No, but they seem very happy. They
Listeners at
continue to
home
be
can
very
do
happy
that.
together.
Great.
And when I was reading up on it, I had totally forgotten that Kurt Russell's dad is a fascinating person. He was an actor in Bonanza and a bunch of stuff. And he bought a baseball team, a minor league team in Portland, Oregon.
The dad or Kurt Russell?
The dad. And Kurt Russell is featured in the documentary. It's fascinating. Like, I don't want to give away anything, but it is so surreal and so interesting and very, very
What's the
cool.
documentary called?
I think it's called like the Bastards of Baseball or something.
Yeah, like the Batlin Bastards of Baseball, something like that.
Yeah.
I think it's on streaming service.
It might be on streaming service. That's probably where I saw it, but it really blew my mind, and it just made me think that probably that whole family is pretty cool.
I feel like there's a quote from Kate Hudson that's like, yeah, he's great. Or something.
Yeah, People Magazine.
Right? Well, because she was around for a lot of her childhood.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's a quote where she's like, oh, yeah, he was great to have around.
Yeah.
Like, he's not my dad, but it was great to have him around.
Yeah. So I think there's just like a lot of...
Oh, who's her dad?
Someone Hudson.
So Goldie Hawn and I forget... Oh, what? Jed Hudson?
I don't know.
Anyway, a Hudson. And
Yeah,
they have Oliver
one of the Hudsons.
and Kate.
Oliver?
Hudson. Oliver and Kate
I
Hudson.
don't know who that is.
And then Goldie Hawn and
Jack Bauer.
Kurt Russell
Jordan.
have 2 kids, and one of them is Wyatt.
Aha!
I think 2 kids. Anyway, one of them is definitely Wyatt, and he's an actor.
He is. He shows up and stuff. He's pretty good. He's a real creep in that Mormon murder show that was on the Hulu streaming service.
Wow.
A couple years ago. He's a real creep, but he did a good job being a creep.
Anyway, good acting, great family.
Yeah. Don't be a creep, any of you.
Yeah.
Look up that documentary if you're into that kind of thing.
Bill Hudson is the dad's name.
Bill!
Yeah, there you go.
Great. So that's,
ratings.
yeah.
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 I think we covered a lot of stuff. I did wonder when I was watching how many of these people are Chinese versus
great question.
Just some casting agent was like, you'll work. But whatever. None of my beeswax. I don't know. I'm a real Jack Burton.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ah.
Woo, I was reaching for Lawson, and I was like, what is even
That's a new
happening
one
right
entirely.
now? I know.
Not even Taylor.
It's like Gracie Law / Burton. Listen.
Cannot get over
That's
the fact that her
their,
name is
like,
Gracie Law.
Couple name. Lawson.
Oh, cute. Well, see, that would have been worth
Wouldn't
getting
it be
together.
Lawton?
Lawton.
No, it's Lawson.
Why?
Because I said so.
Okay. Lizzo confidence over here.
Oh.
It's about damn time. So what's the number, Molly?
4.
Nice.
Wow.
I did have a good time. I was confused through most of it, but I had a good time.
I mean, I think on some level we all were.
Yeah.
Kurt, you're a treasure. Please don't be a creep.
Yeah.
Oh.
He's probably not.
I mean, he's made it this far not being a
I
creep.
know, but I just feel like any actor ever
No, I feel
now,
vulnerable.
I like have to say just in
I
case.
know. I get you.
But Kurt, man,
We're rooting for you.
we're rooting for you.
Yeah.
You and
Yeah.
Goldie.
Hey, we hope you go the distance.
Yeah. Which is death?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the goal of every marriage.
Sure.
To die together
Yeah.
at the exact same time.
Yes.
Holding hands
Yes.
on the Titanic.
Oh,
Wait.
how are you going
I'm
to pull
sorry.
that off?
The goal of every single couple.
Marriage.
Yeah, marriage.
Which means Goldie Hawn and Kurt can do whatever they want.
Oh, okay.
They can die whenever they want.
Yeah.
I think they got together in 1983.
Wow.
Wow, 3 years before this movie.
Wow.
Oh.
And Goldie was on set.
Did they meet on Overboard?
No. They met on some movie you've never heard of.
Nice.
Oh.
And they met when they were very young on some other movie you haven't heard of.
Oh.
But they were both like really young. Like she was like 17, he was like 20.
I see.
But and then like 10 years later, they met again. And then each of them got divorces from their original partners and then met again.
Huh.
Wow.
And then they
Slow
got together
burn.
and stayed together
Wow.
for like a few decades. I don't know. She's
Yeah.
77 now.
Okay.
Wow.
People magazine has nothing but good things to say.
So he's like 80?
What?
Kurt Russell's like 80?
I guess so. I don't know. Oh, can I just tell you one more thing though? So I just do a search in a very large search engine.
Uh-huh.
I don't do an exotic search engine at all. And I typed in R. Goldie Hawn and
Oh my
You
God.
just said his name.
Literally.
Like literally a minute
I mean,
ago.
we've said it, I don't know, 400 times in the podcast.
Just, I want to see what she
No,
comes
I
up
need to
with.
know. I know. Come on, Molly. You can do it.
Kurt Russell. Oh my gosh. So R. Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell, and the auto finish was in love.
Wow. That's
Who
the
types
question?
that in? But apparently,
Yeah, they've
many,
been together
many
for a long
people-
time, but are they in
Yeah,
love?
like maybe it's just
Or is it the
convenience.
drugs?
Yes.
Which search engine tells you if people are in love?
Yeah.
Maybe we should do that instead of our friends' friends.
Yeah.
Which friends are friends?
RV.
Is which people are in love?
I love it.
Yeah.
And you can just type in your own name and like your crush and find out if you're in love with each other.
Oh,
Wow.
that's just one of those little paper things.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, that exists.
I love
What do
it.
they call those paper things? There's a name for
Cootie
them.
catcher.
Excuse me?
A cootie catcher?
That's what they call it in
That's-
California?
It's a little pyramid thing.
Yeah.
And you
I've
go
never heard
back
that
and
before.
forth.
I
a bunch,
never
and
heard
then
that
you lift
phrase.
one of the edges and there's like your
Yeah.
fortune or whatever. Yeah,
Yeah.
cootie catcher.
I've never
I
heard
think
them
we're
before in
just
my
talking
life.
about like maybe fortune tellers.
Yeah,
or
I think we
something.
called them fortune tellers.
All right, well.
Guess you were catching cooties in California.
I mean,
Yeah.
you know, that warm
Nice.
weather, nothing's going to die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All those diseases are just free floating on the avocados and oranges.
Yeah, but we're so strong from all that citrus.
Right, of course.
Set it off.
Well, that's surfing.
Yeah.
That's sea air.
Yeah, write in, call us or whatever. Tell us what you called it.
Oh, where are you going with
I was
this?
like, where? In
612
California?
809.
Go to
Cootie
totesrecall.com.
Scroll down to the
612-208-9788.
Yeah.
We
Wow.
did try to get a more memorable number.
Did we?
I think we did.
1-800-TOTES recall? Is
I
that
think
enough?
we didn't want to pay for a
Oh, sure.
number. This one seemed easiest because
Okay,
there's 2
should we
eights.
put
Yeah.
a tier on Patreon for
Should
like
pay us for a
sponsor-
better number.
But
What's wrong
we'll
with
work
this one?
their name into the jingle. So instead of 618-729 PUTA, do the last 2 letters don't matter, but you do. We could
Wow,
do
you
like
just rattled that off.
yeah.
And you can't remember Kurt Russell's name for 90 seconds?
We can do it's 1-800-TOTES-REEK.
Totes Reek? No.
Totes.
We don't stink.
Recall.
We,
Well, because recall would be funny to put in a number.
oh,
Into
that
a
is funny.
T recall.
call
Is that enough?
recall.
Well, anyway,
Tree
you
call.
see what I'm saying? I'm trying to get to 7 numbers.
Luke, thank you so much for sponsoring this episode. It really brought us to an incredible place, an
Yeah.
incredible journey. We learned so much about ourselves and about Kurt Russell.
A
Yeah.
lot about this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I learned a lot about Jack Russell,
Yeah.
Jack
Terry.
Skellington.
I learned that Burton is a brand of snowboard.
That's right.
What else?
Oh.
I don't know.
Oh, is that the Turbo Dog here to give us the moral?
Jetpack Dog?
Jetpack Dog.
Jesus. Wait, no, it's Turbo Dog.
Turbo Donkey?
Turbo Dog.
Oh, Turbo Dog.
It's me, Turbo
What
Dog.
happened to Jetpack Dog?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, no. Turbo Dog.
Turbo Dog.
Turbo Dog didn't hide Jetpack Dog in the closet.
Turbo Dog.
Turbo
Is
Dog.
that your
Turbo Dog.
jetpack?
Turbo.
I gotta go, guys.
Oh, Turbo Dog, come
It's
here.
been fun.
No, where's Jetpack Dog?
Bye.
Oh, wow. You might want to cut out that second glass shattering that Turbo Dog didn't have the DC to come through the hole that was already in the window from the
Yeah.
award.
So loud.
It's just a dog-shaped hole in your wall.
Oh,
now.
man.
So
That
sorry.
Turbo Dog. What a scamp.
Such a scam.
Didn't even tell us the moral of that.
No. I mean, we just kind of put him on the spot. Also, if you know the whereabouts of Jetpack Dog, please call us at 612-208-9788.
Totes Recall is hosted by Molly Chase, Beth Gibbs, Dan Jaquette, and Dan Linden. Produced by Beth Gibbs. New episodes of Totes Recall drop on the 15th of every month. For more information and bonus content, visit us at totesrecall.com. Thank you so much for listening.